Welcome to the Good Talk, our recap and Q&A show where we go over the game we just played and answer your questions. And we just played a pretty interesting game. It was 2,500 points, the first time we played a game like that. And it was the Ultramarines with a bunch of new stuff, pretty much exclusively new models outside of like 7 models, which is like a 5-man or 6-man infantry squad and 1 character. This is all new models that I was like rushing to paint against a mixed demons list led by Magnus.
That's right.
And so if you haven't seen it, go check it out first because we're going to spoil it.
The whole thing.
Yeah, that was your only warning. And what a game! Magnus was a real star.
He was a beast. He was everything. You have games. Should I feed him?
You're learning about. Are you turning on the stream? Because I'm doing a. Hey, so are we live? Hey, what?
Thanks, Bridger.
Thanks, Bridger. I'm doing a build your own taco right now.
That's cool.
Because we had some real technical problems, and tacos make everything better.
They make internet better.
Did I do it? Did I fix
it?
it?
They really do.
So let us know in chat, guys. Our bitrate went straight down to 0. I don't know if you heard any of that.
Bridger, what was the technical problem we were having?
I don't actually know. Our bitrate was 0.
It was like an internet ghost.
And it was green. Ugh. We had a green light go, bitrate 0.
That's wild.
Which I don't know.
Well, how about this? Welcome to the Good Talk.
Welcome to the Good Talk.
It's our recap and Q&A show. We're going over the game we just played, and it was against Ultramarines against the Demons, and it was a blowout.
But we won't say which way in case you haven't seen it, so spoilers, go somewhere else.
Yeah, okay, it was a blowout. I lost real bad.
All right, there you go.
The Ultramarines lost real bad. I brought all my new toys, and they all suffered from the new model syndrome.
Yeah.
I brought tons of the tanks, all the new ATVs, stuff I've been furiously painting all week. And honestly, I had fun just putting on the board. Yeah. We both kind of looked at their profiles and thought like, this is a lot of DACA. This is really going to be scary. But at the end of the day, they just didn't deliver at all. And it's not because I had bad rolls.
No.
It's just because the averages, once you do it out, it's like -1 to hit, no rerolls here, wounding only okay. I was wounding a lot of times on 5s because I was hitting tough stuff.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't doing almost anything.
No, yeah.
Like really, like you look at your dead pile, you lost like nothing.
Yeah, I lost the things that I wanted to lose, And thanks, Bridget. You're hitting on 4s, you're winning on 5s. I have the invuln saves. It was tough, and of course, the lack of rerolls means like you're hitting on 4s and that's it, right? So you're immediately getting cut in half. So that's something that's really important with the vehicles, and even in this case with the ATVs, because you just didn't have the support.
The lesson this teaches me, though, and don't take the wrong thing away, that doesn't mean any of these models are bad. Every single one of them is good.
Yeah.
Maybe not the Astraeus, actually. I'll talk about that in a second. All of them are good.
Yeah.
But they can't be your whole army.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the Reaper's good if it can go into the thing it's good at killing.
Yeah.
The ATVs are good when they have reroll support and they can go into the right things.
Yes.
When all you have is these vehicles and they're doing all the jobs, they're just not good enough. Maybe they used to be when they could have captains, lieutenants, or chapter masters, lieutenants. They would be excellent.
Oh, sure.
But
even a regular captain would be a lot better here.
Yeah. So you just can't. But you used to be able to build armies out of vehicles for Space Marines.
Yeah.
I think we had a hunch it wasn't possible, but it's just not.
It's good. Again, it's good to see. It's a sort of weird validation thing where it's like, like this was a silly, wacky list where you wanted to play with all your toys and you got to, but like it doesn't function as a list, right?
It doesn't
play the mission at all.
And the Astraeus for me is pretty rad, right? In the sense that it has lots of 3 damage, which is pretty unique and interesting. It's very hard to shoot at because its void shields come back every turn. So
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you take its void shield down, and the next turn it's back.
That's really good.
So you basically lose so much efficiency every turn trying to drop it.
Yeah.
But it can be chopped in combat.
Yeah.
But if you had a normal army, it would be in the back. There would be layers of screens in front, and it would just be throwing fire down the field. But in a 2,000-point game, it's costing you so much.
So much.
And I've done this before, like if you ran it as Iron Hands, you're making it hit on 2s, you're making all of its 6s explode, you are letting it re-roll its 1s, you're giving it extra AP on all of its guns, and it's double damage profile, and
Right.
6 of Feel No Pain,
Right.
Overwatching on 4s or whatever, If you gave it all of that as Iron Hands, I think it would be genuinely excellent.
Yeah.
But as almost any other Legion, I think it's not very good. It's stylish.
It's stylish for sure.
And I'm happy to have it, but it's it just doesn't deliver.
No, it's an older style of unit, not model really, but unit in a current game, right? And even actually, I think some of those they wouldn't even get even with Iron Hands because it's in a super heavy detachment, right?
Geez. So you wouldn't get the 6 of Feel No Pain
Yeah.
and you wouldn't get the double damage profile.
You wouldn't get the no.
Count
that
as double.
So you can use it has Iron Hands, so you can use strats on it.
No, those are chapter tactics I just named.
The the double wounds. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
You can top profile it. Though.
You could top profile.
Apparently.
Yeah.
But you would not be getting the extra AP. I don't even know if you got doctrines. Do you get doctrines?
I think you do.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
In an Aux?
Yeah.
Oh, Space Marines get everything.
Yeah.
Get
They
everything?
they don't get their chapter tactics though.
No, they don't. We looked this up
Yeah.
when we were sad about the Astreus, literally like
Yeah.
this model. So, yeah.
But you don't need those. Those chapter tactics are really great, but you could. It's still good as Iron Hands without it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, despite that, do you have an MVP for that game? Who performed the best for you, or did something?
The best thing, and this is so sad to say, but it's actually super true. The best thing in the entire list was the intercessors.
No, no.
They had the biggest impact on the game
Naturally.
that I can name.
Yeah.
They actually like managed to hold the point.
Yeah.
They were actually like spitting out decent fire, and they screened my backfield, which is actually really crucial.
Yeah.
I needed that.
Yeah.
And they stood up to Magnus. They stood there and still held their point, and you know they did what they needed to do.
Yeah.
And they gave me options. You know, I didn't use them to any magical effect.
Right.
But they felt like the only unit that was really delivering.
I think if you have someone that's coming back to the game, maybe they played in 8th or 7th or 6th, show them today's game and show them Thursday's game to show them how wildly the different the game is than it used to be, right? So both really good examples about where 9th edition works and where it doesn't work.
That's
right. Yeah, like I had a great time again playing this demon army. I like it. I think it's fun. It's nasty.
Yeah.
I think
Well, and these are good things for demons, right? Like
these are all good things for demons.
The things
Yeah.
that you brought are all super viable.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
like leaning into the things that are already good, right?
Yeah.
I think it would suffer more against a shooting army, but maybe not. I don't know. I think it's quite good and it's quite fun.
So what was your MVP this game?
It's got to be Magnus.
Yeah.
It's got to be Magnus for sure.
He was great.
Yeah, like
He
obviously.
soaked up so much fire, and he just wouldn't go down.
Yeah, and he put out the damage. It was the perfect game for him. It was the perfect balance of like turn 1, pop out, smite, do damage, pop away, hide. Okay, turn 2, is there an opportunity? Yes, let's do this. Let's bring the support with him, and then he just wrecks. He just fights. He tanks. You know, he attack and he protect, and that was cool to see.
Moving, as has always been the case, moving 32 and charging. There's nothing you can really do.
No.
My army had no screens, and so you know, there's nothing you can do to ever stop him.
And this is, you know, to be fair, the terrain mattered a lot here, right?
Sure.
Because he could be obscured in the beginning.
Yeah.
And there was enough obscuring in the middle that things like your Astreus
I had to move up.
Right. I couldn't have gone for you for turn 1.
That's right.
But you had to move up to be able to take me off the point, which meant I could respond. So
That's right.
Again, another very 9th edition concept, but he for sure is my MVP.
Should we get to some Q's and A's?
Let's do this.
What about these packages, Brian?
Yeah, we'll do that too.
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna forget.
All right, okay.
So
up,
we
Zach?
got a full house here. We got
Hey,
Zach
Zach.
here. Is this the first time Zach's been seen on camera?
I think so.
Whoa!
No, Zach played a game with us, Brian.
Did he?
A lot of people don't
Oh,
remember
you know
that.
what? People don't remember
That was
that.
a long time ago.
People don't know
I
who he is.
remember.
Yeah, you
Well,
remember. Zach did play a game. Who was Zach? Who did Zach play a game against? It was
You.
It was me, right?
2019 is
Yeah,
like
it was a while.
You were
a
Iron
different
Hands,
planet.
and he was Tau.
I remember that game.
You played Iron Hands against both of our guests. You played against Zach and you played against Will with Iron Hands. You're a mean man.
I guess I did.
Wow.
I remember that was, and you had you brought a bunch of the flyers.
Yep.
That was a fun game.
Barracudas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stylish.
Yeah, Zach is another Tau. In fact, our like narrative club is like 60% Tau players. So it's a horrible club.
Zach actually made me switch. He was
Yeah.
like, we can't have another Tau player. I'm going to help you build and paint a new army.
I mean,
and
It's
teach
like actually a consideration now at this
Yeah.
point. I think it's like almost becoming too many.
to be fair, if I saw your models, I wouldn't want you to represent my faction either.
My Tau models were horrific.
They looked like they were painted with like whiteout.
Yeah, whiteout and like melted crayons.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was
The
real
melted
bad.
crayon it's a good touch.
Yeah.
Well, just before we get through some questions, actually,
Sure.
we have. I do have my juice box. I'll get that ready in a
You
moment.
got to indulge
But we
in
do
the
have
juice
some
box.
mail. We do have some mail today.
Let me close this up.
Oh, you're not going to take a bite?
No, you can't.
All right.
I was like, eat my breed, and you're like, oh, we're live. Oh, God.
So this is from Caldorf. Thank you, Caldorf.
Thank you.
Here, you could try and open that.
Oh,
first thing.
I partially opened it for us.
you
You
help
partially
them?
opened that one,
And-
but not this one.
Blacked out the address, which is something we should start to do.
I'm not announcing the addresses. Okay, what do we got?
Oh,
Ooh.
Got some Warcry stuff in here.
that's awesome.
What is this? These are the Warcry cards, right?
Yes.
For playing for the Deepkin,
Yep.
the Gloomspike Gits, which
great. That's
those
perfect.
are your factions.
Yep.
the Seraphon and the Ma tribes, which is what you want.
Yeah.
There we go.
This is cool. So this is the rules to use your
Yeah.
your old factions in Warcry. Is that
Exactly. Yeah. So this is the.
Are these open or are
it's
they
each of the
invincible?
charts.
They're
Oh, I
invincible.
forget.
I want my ogres.
There you go. And then I'll give it to Mel when she
I
gets
can
here.
open anything.
When I get home. So that's
No,
awesome.
they're invincible. Can you open these packages?
I can open
gotta do
anything.
like
Oh, no, I did it. Okay, show us how. No, he's teaching me.
Oh, I did it. I got, you see the triangle there where it loosens?
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
The join?
Yeah, show me
Like
how.
that. That's how you got to get that.
You pull that triangle right there?
Yeah, I'm already open. So,
Yeah, but that's not fair for humans. Humans. Anyways,
Ooh.
yeah, this is how you use the non-Warcry models in Warcry.
have you played, do you know this Warcry game? Have you played this?
I have not.
I'm sure this sounds great on the mics.
Yeah, it's all
the
crinkly.
squeaking
It's all
plastic.
mighty crinkly.
Yeah, so it comes with all the stats so you can use them. Which, as I mentioned, if you're gonna play Warcry, play with all Age of Sigmar factions, like Trucer, or
the new factions,
all
yeah.
the Warcry only, because the balance between them is not great.
This is a cool game. We should give this a go.
Yes, definitely.
Kaldorf, thanks for this.
Have it all set.
I opened it and the back card was in Russian. And I was like,
Yeah.
He's
and then the
trolled you
next
there.
one was in Chinese. So I
Yeah, the
figured
funny
it
thing
out.
is, like, you need a tenth of this, right?
Right.
For whatever reason, they decided to keep it cheap in production.
This
Cool
is great.
deal. Well, thank you, Kaldor. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
This is from Colt. Thank you so much.
What is this one?
It's an elephant.
I only partially opened
Bridger
it. I
teased
didn't
me.
wanna-
Yeah.
Did you know what it is?
No,
I don't know what it
I
is.
just part opened it because I knew we would have this
Just to
problem.
like slice it.
We've been doing this, but I forgot to do it, so thank you. All right, here we go. There's the note. You can take the note.
I think we're supposed to read this note. I don't remember.
I'll read it and then I'll decide.
All right.
I don't. Everybody keeps messaging me saying they have a package, and they like some of them
Okay,
say
this
read
is
the
fun.
note.
This is from someone who goes by Victor Von Doom. Dear Adrian and Brian, I bequeath upon thee my greatest Lord of Chaos, in the hopes that maybe it will endear you to the beauty of chaos. Chaos Lord Zarost has terrorized for many years all denizens of all empires. I hope with all humbleness that the lightning is to your fancy and pleasure.
Ooh,
He's
excellent.
got lightning on him? That's cool. I have heard that thou art quite critical of lightning. Indeed I am, actually. It's really hard to do good lightning, isn't it?
It is.
We have a friend who has, Andrew,
Yeah.
who has a Night Lord's army. It's really beautiful. Did so much lightning on it, it actually looks really sharp.
It takes a while.
But that, Andrew puts in the work.
Yeah.
He's not trying to phone
He's
it
not
in.
using whiteout.
Yeah, he's not white out. No. Well, thanks so much. This is really great. And there's an Inquisitor in here as well.
And this is really nice.
We don't actually have any Inquisitors.
There it is.
Do
I have some, but you don't.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any.
This is really nicely painted. Look at
Ooh.
that. Really nice,
He's great.
soft colors and really like great highlights.
Wow.
That's amazing. And so this will be the Chaos.
So this is yours. Adrian, I bequeath upon thee my greatest Inquisitor,
thank
so that
you.
one day he may accompany any army of the Imperium onto the battlefield. He's Ordo Malleus, Lord Inquisitor, Deus Victorious, Aeus the Eighth.
That's amazing. I love it.
That's quite the title.
He may be small, but he's mighty.
This is with the Necromunda parts too. That's so
Yeah.
sick. Oh,
See
here
this
he is.
Chaos Lord.
Dun, dun.
Oh, nice.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
lighting.
he's great.
So it has like the nice change in thickness on it too.
Yeah.
Which is great. Thank
fun.
you so much. This is super
yeah.
super generous.
He's cool.
What?
Yeah, these are really rad models.
That's painted so well.
The Night Lords are an army. It's one of those armies that I wish the rules were good and it would incentivize me to
Yeah,
collect
totally.
them, because I've kind of hated their rules for a while. And you see the way that drukari deal with morale and
Yeah.
make it matter. Like
Yeah.
they use morale and really punish you, and they make you fight last, and they take away OPSEC and blah, 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 blah.
That's how it should be.
The Night Lords need to not only reduce your morale, but then do stuff with
I
that.
have faith that it'll work.
I actually have faith as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
All right, let's get to the questions.
That's it for mail
I'm gonna
time.
I'm gonna get my juice box.
Yeah.
I need to have the juice box will
The energy.
soothe
And
my.
don't forget your little orange, Brian.
Maybe I'll leave the orange.
Oh, he doesn't
That's
want the
the
orange.
only healthy part of this.
This is 100% organic apple juice. It's only like 300 calories of sugar.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Thank you, Synthon Nilo. This is the first time I've caught the live chat while it runs. I love your amazing games. You're showing so much camaraderie. It's an inspiration. What do you say, Stormlord or Stormhammer?
Stormlord, easy. The Stormlord's so much cooler.
Because you just loaded up with dudes.
Yeah, you can even put like lascan and heavy weapons.
Well,
schemes and
don't.
stuff.
No.
There's some goofy ways to abuse it. That is one of them.
That's not even abuse. Like it's not like so good that it's a problem. Basically, what you do is you put the 4 sponson las cannons on it, and then fill it with las cannons, and then it's like this las cannon boat, and it's just funny.
That's pretty
Your
cool.
opponent's like, okay, he's like, I'm gonna shoot with this, and it's like 47 las cannons. They're like, oh, jeez, what?
That's nice.
And then you still kill like one thing.
You know,
Yeah.
Brian, if you do put all the sponsons on, I'm in support. Because every time I've ever wanted to play Baneblade, I've wanted every
You want all
single
4 sponsons?
sponson.
There's
Yeah.
so many. How many are there?
You can have 4.
16?
You get 6.
No, I think it's 4.
No, it's not 6.
It's 4. You can have 4 sponsons.
Boom, 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 boom.
And
you
each
sure?
sponson can have a las cannon and like a multi-melt on it. So it can get real pricey.
Really?
Yeah.
It gets very expensive.
That's
You can get like a 600 or 700 point Shadow Sword.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, it's
But
good
yeah,
stuff.
I agree. That's very cool. And thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Blake. Hey guys, started Tyranids as my first army
It's a good army.
Yeah.
at the end of 8th. Do you guys have any list advice for someone who doesn't have any Forge World models?
Yeah, you can do great work with our Forge World.
Absolutely. Well, so we like Hiveguard. We were talking about Gaunts before. You know, like the troops. Everyone's like, oh, the troops aren't great. The Gaunts are the way to go with the troops, right? Just lots of small squads that can just run out there. X-Screens, amazing. So I'd probably take my competitive.
Well, you kind of have a choice of whether you're going shooting or combat. You're about to propose a shooting list, right?
But here's the thing: if you took a unit of Hiveguard and 2 Exocrines, that's a great firing base, and it's not.
Are you
that many
Kronos?
points. Yeah. Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a shooting army.
It's a shooting army.
I disagree, but that's okay.
It's a strength. It's one of the strengths of Tyranids right now. I think their combat is lackluster.
Yeah. It's less for your points than other factions are getting.
Sure.
Whereas the shooting actually could be on par.
Sure.
And their psychic is great. That's the other half.
Psychic's great.
I would say combine their shooting and their psychic, and they're cheap troops.
Okay, so continue. You got your Hive Guard. You've got your Hive Guard.
Well-
You've got your 2 Exocrines. What else you put in here? How many Gaunts? When you talk about Gaunts, you're talking about like
all the
60?
squads.
80.
60, at least.
60. Yeah, I think
you're,
60 is
you're
a good-
maxing out your battalion. You don't want to take more than a battalion,
Yeah.
generally speaking, but you do want to use each and
because
every
the
single
army
troop.
has bonker strats.
Yeah, the
The strats are so good.
If you're not like double moving a unit of Gaunts to move block every single turn or engage on all fronts,
So now
like,
you're talking about the swarm.
you're missing out.
Or
No, Gaunts
You're
just
just talking
double
about the strat.
the
Now you're cracking though.
No. So there's a strat. It's where you like accelerate their metabolism.
and they
They
die in
can
ones.
get hurt.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like 100% worth it. It's so powerful. For like
Okay.
move blocking. Gargoyles are great because you don't take a bunch of gargoyles. You just take like 1 or 2 squads.
Just to like scrambler and stuff.
Scrambler, raise banners,
Yeah.
all that good stuff.
You could
And-
even consider 2 squads just so that you could, have 1 in reserve or like 1 scrambles mid-board, turn 1, stuff like that.
And that's most of it. But you honestly could for the combat.
Neurothropes.
Neurothropes are great. Yeah. You
Yeah.
could do Swarmy with Gene Stealers. I don't know
Yeah.
if I would do Gene Stealers in this list without Swarmy.
Yeah.
Because they are Chronos. They're not like, or they are they are Chronos and they're not
Yeah.
like Kraken or anything. But that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know.
Those are the good things, for sure. And then these days, of course, you talk about Forge World because everyone's talking about the Demacarons, right? Because they
And the
are...
Hierodulls.
And the, sorry?
Hierodulls.
The Hierodulls are good. But the
Hierodulls-
Demacaron's just like a better Hierodule,
Yep.
Yeah.
right? It's like a
Yep.
similar kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just stronger. The model's not as nice, in my opinion, but it's
Agreed.
it's better rules. And those are cool, but like, yeah,
I
you
think
don't have to have them.
No,
Yeah.
it's all good.
Thank
You play Tyranids as well, right?
I have a Tyranid army.
Yeah.
It's this army that like since 5th has always never been that great.
Yeah.
And
People love it, but they
people
want it to
love
be
it.
good. But yeah.
Everybody wants to play against Tyranids.
Yeah.
Everybody wants
is
someone in
fun.
their play group to be the Tyranid player they
Yeah.
can beat up on.
That's so
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And the Tyranids, actually, if you go look around online, the Tyranids are one of the more beloved factions. Like they have some of the more active groups, Facebook groups. When we posted up Tyranids videos, they actually get more engagement than other factions. People just are passionate about the Tyranids.
Yeah.
It's a faction people love.
Yeah. This is a good name. Thank you, Cuddle Me Night Haunter.
Oh no. Where is this going?
Yeah.
With the prevalence of important aura characters, do you see a role for ignore lookouts or snipers? He's
Keep escalating.
yeah. We just talked about this, right? But he's talking specifically about death marks also.
Right. Yes and no. Like in theory, yes. In reality, no, because they can't do enough, and people can play with terrain. Most of these auras don't require a line of sight.
So what
It's
you're
a-
trying to say is that even if they gave them the ability, it wouldn't actually be that strong.
It's a baseline to the functioning of this archetype. Without it, they're legitimately useless.
Wait.
Yeah.
Are we just talking about snipers? We're just talking about snipers.
Yeah,
Snipers in general, but he is asking also about death marks.
But snipers today don't ignore the new bodyguard rule.
Oh,
Snipers
sorry.
today
But this
can't
is
shoot a
lookout,
character.
They're
This
just
is-
saying lookouts
This
are
is
not
lookout,
bodyguard.
sir. This is just saying
Ah,
snipers.
okay.
Well,
I
that's like-
interpreted it as bodyguard for some reason too.
I see.
Umbrella it with bodyguard rule because new bodyguard rule invalidates the existence of snipers. They should ignore that rule.
It doesn't help them. The snipers are already doing
good
poorly, and then bodyguard makes it even worse. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, I think we've been talking a lot about snipers, and we came to a conclusion of something we really liked.
Yeah.
And I'm now like firmly on this train. I will like email James about it. I'm so firmly
Oh
on it.
no.
That snipers aren't about one-shotting characters. They're about doing funky utility things that you can't do otherwise. Like snipers can pick which models die in units. That could be so cool. Sniper's cool. Maybe they can target characters, but we all know they're not going to kill a character in like one go.
But they can kill a Plague Marine with a flail.
Yeah, that would be big. They kill the Plague Marine with the flail. They kill your banner. They kill this person who's, helping your coherency. All of that's really clutch.
So good.
So cool. Also, snipers could do suppressing fire type things where maybe they hurt your OPSEC at a range, or maybe they hurt your ability to do actions, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
What if a character couldn't leave a building? Like they're in a ruin, they're on a piece of area terrain, and the snipers say you can't leave that area terrain this turn.
Yeah, like you
That'd
pin
be
them
funny.
down. You pin them down, or they can
Be
slow their
cute.
movement or something. So snipers turning them more into a utility pick, I think that's way more interesting. Make it happen, James.
All right,
Loving this juice box.
thank you, Nicholas Allen.
Thank you.
With the new Metallica rules, what's the nastiest list you all can think of using Metallica supplement? This might be Nick, who used to live out here. He plays Admech, if you guys ever met him.
Nope.
Nastiest list you all can think of using...
Okay, take Mars.
No, so here's a...
No, Metallica's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to Richard Siegler, who swears by them now.
Yeah.
He so they're doing their event on their channel, and he was like, yeah, I think that's the way to go. He's running double Metallica patrol, and I don't know if they're the best to me, but I think they're way more tasty now.
Super all-rounded.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Like you have to keep in mind what this army has
Yeah.
as an ability. They're fast, right?
Yeah.
So they advance and shoot, and they can advance faster. They've got that auto advance 6. That's big. They have bubbles of some pretty magical bubbles. They have auras of fall back and shoot. They have auras of minus toughness. They have auras of reroll wounds in combat, right? And they have auras of improving strength on their rad weapons, or it was something like that, right?
I think it was a strat.
Or damage and no, it's a warlord trait. It's a pick one. It's a pick one, but it's an aura.
okay.
It's like a pick one within 6.
That's cool.
So, anyways, this utility is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's
right?
really great. It's really great. I think, so like, we won't go through the whole list, but roughly we're looking at things like, obviously you're taking Vanguard with the radiant weapons for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah, they're cheap. They have OPSEC. It's
Yeah.
actually a lot of DACA. And
Yeah.
then they can start to wound pretty well if you spit out their minus or toughness
You know,
aura.
the funny thing is, like, the support characters start to matter a lot more
Yeah.
because they have these auras.
Yeah,
So,
agreed.
you really want to, and some of these things you can put on Daedalus, which is important, right?
You can't put any of the Metallica special warlord traits. So, in fact,
Oh, yeah,
none
you're
of the
right.
interesting stuff can
So
go
never
in
mind.
Daedalosis. And he can't take a relic either.
But he could be your Divinations of the Magos guy, right? There's
There's
something you can put on him.
I don't remember if he can get to the Holy Order warlord traits. No, those specifically cannot go on named characters.
So
He
he's
can
just
only
terrible
take
here.
he can only take warlord traits from the book.
Yeah.
Um,
That are not Forge Roll associated.
specific. Yeah, right, that's correct.
All right, take it back then.
and
But you need multiple of these characters with those auras and the relics. Like
Yeah.
Metallic and Lung is a relic, and you have to get up close.
Yeah.
But it's cool because it's like rerolling all failed wounds. That's amazing.
The best list, though, I think we haven't put enough work into trying to maximize this.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a list that doesn't like lean into any one thing.
No,
It's going
for
to be a
sure.
list that has like a bit of
It's
everything.
very distributed, and that's the strength of Metallica, right? It plays the game in a way that the rest of Mechanica struggles a little bit.
Yeah.
Its ultimate utility, yeah, it's definitely distributed. Yeah. I think, and funny enough, I think like the Shooty Priests are really interesting with this Forge World. You were kicking butt with them.
Yeah, the Forge World doesn't help them in particular, though, does it?
You can advance and shoot without penalty, so they're extra long range.
Yeah. That's true.
And the minus
the
1
advance-
toughness means their strength 5 is even tastier. So I don't know. I think
enough.
it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all these advance and do X factions are just showing, they're proving out how movement-based 9th edition is. The board got smaller, the objectives got closer together,
Yeah.
and now it's even more of a movement game
Yeah.
because the strongest factions are consistently the factions that can advance and still do their thing.
Yeah.
Harlequins were dominant,
Yeah.
then Drukari were dominant,
White Scars.
White Scars, we have this new Admech thing. Like, It's just a
It
movement
turns out,
edition.
yeah, well, and it's always been a movement game, but it's been escalating. 8th edition was more movement based than even 7th, and so on. And I think that speed unto itself is a huge attribute, right?
Thank you, Ignacy. Hey, looking for some inspiration to rebase my Telemon and the Custodes. How did you do the base, Brian is asking, for your Leviathan Dreadnought?
Yeah, so my Ultramarines are all based with resin bases that I purchased. I really wanted them to feel like they were kind of in like a regal, ancient Roman kind of ruiny kind of thing. That was the vibe I was going for. So I found these stonework brick bases that have like some overgrown parts. And they were from Secret Weapon Miniatures.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So Secret Weapon Miniatures, they're in a lot of your local hobby shops, but you'll never ever be able to buy them there because it'll be like, cool, one base. And you're like, what am I supposed to do with this? One base? Like, I'm trying to base a whole army. So you could go to their website and order. I will tell you though, if you're trying to do a collection, like I was trying to do at this point, you know, well over 3,000 points, and I have extra bases at home enough to do the future of this army, everything I've planned. It's like $700 in bases.
Yeah, it's expensive.
So I was like really committed to the idea, and I was so excited. And then I went and put them all in the cart, and then I was like, oh, ooh. And then I like didn't check out, and I like went and considered my life for like a day or two, and I was like, that's not worth. That's a whole army. What am I thinking? There's cheap hobby ways I could do this with like green stuff. And then I was like, yeah, but I'm lazy.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
to make
you were doing it. And
and it won't come out as well as theirs.
You have to get good at it, right? It's like you'll have to practice. So anyways, I really thought and hummed and hawed about it for a long time. And I was like, what do I care? Bye. And then I just bought them, and they're really nice bases. And there's a couple companies that make resin bases. I've talked about it before, but Dragonforge Designs. Their bases are so nice. And if you're trying to put real work into the army, they could take it so far. But those bases are actually not more expensive, but they take much longer to ship. So you got to plan when. Like it's like I've got a tournament next week. Order. Like cool, you'll get it for next year's version of that tournament.
The nice thing about Custodes is that almost that gold, like however you base them, maybe other than like desert, sandy desert.
Yeah, contrast.
It's gonna look good.
Exactly.
They can go in jungle. They can go even in snow. Anything. Right?
Snow. Custodes would never be in snow. It wouldn't happen.
Their Ormite is actually not insulated. Most people don't know that. And it's their one weakness.
They're indoor.
They're indoor cats. Yeah, they get really cold.
True. Indoor cats.
They've been inside for 10,000 years, like in a basement. They're like edgelords on the internet.
They just wouldn't put up with it. Just like a desert. I don't think they would be in a desert either. Any place where the climate is like not perfect.
I think they would complain
They're
like
above
C-3PO does when walking through the desert.
These guys suck.
Like, can't we just get guard to do this? Like, why do we have to go?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Moon Buddy. Hey guys, return to the game for 8th Ed from 4th Ed.
Oh, welcome.
And curious if you think the glut of Imperium armies is bad for the game. 3rd saw Drukari, Tau, Necron, Codexes, since there seems to be little Xenos love. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks. I don't think it's a problem.
Not really. Well, I think they go a little too far. But to be fair, they also kind of got messed up with the whole COVID situation. Like, remember that the Marine releases were all supposed to happen within 3 months, right?
Yeah.
We were like promised that Dark Angels was going to be in like December, and it was like, cool, like that's a lot of books, but whatever, it's happening fast.
Yeah.
And then everything got stretched, and here we are in April. So I think that hurt them a bit more because like realistically, it was going to be what, October was Necrons, and like I guess they probably were intending January to be Drukari, which isn't that bad.
I will say I was at the start of 8th edition. I was a Xenos player. I was only playing Tau, and
I used to be a Xenos player too.
I was really bitter about Imperium in a way because at the start of 8th edition there was no downside to souping.
Right.
Yeah.
More detachments gave you CP.
Yeah.
Guard battalions and Blood Angels and all of this was all good.
Custodes.
You lost nothing
Yeah.
by souping. You actually gained command points
Yeah.
and new abilities, and you got all your strats and blah, blah, blah. And I'm over here as Tau, like cool. Like, I have nothing, and my army has huge gaps, and every other army, all the Imperium can fill all their gaps with, like, the perfect thing. Like, people were souping like 4 psychers from like 4 separate armies and getting all their powers. And it's like, this is mean, guys.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you have 4 powers for -1 to hit against my Tau. Like,
Yeah.
good for you.
Oh my God,
So,
that's right.
It was just not, I didn't love that. But in 9th edition, late 8th edition, 9th edition, they made souping like really undesirable in like more matched play because you lose so much. You lose your doctrines and your chapter tactics and your blah, blah, blahs, right? So for me, I think the way it is now is really cool. I'm happy. You could bring out more Imperium factions. I don't care as long as you don't make them like infinitely stacked to greatness.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I was kind of like not pleased with.
Yeah.
You know, that was something the GW handled really, really well. And people only ever complain about decisions GW makes.
Sure.
But the way they handled soup at the end of 8th into 9th, where they said, you can do it, but you won't get these other cool new things.
Yeah.
You don't lose stuff. You still get all your rules. You just don't get these cool new rules.
Right.
That was the perfect way to handle it.
And 9th was even worse now because now you don't want extra detachments and things.
Right, yeah. Well,
So it's even more of a punishment.
Yeah, and we see things like the Armies of Renown where it's like, oh, you get these new rules, but you can have no like vehicles in your whole army.
Sure.
Whereas before it would have been like, no vehicles in this detachment, and you're like, cool, cool,
Right.
cool. So here's my spearhead with all my vehicles, and James is like, oh, man.
You got us.
Yeah.
Foiled again. So yeah, I'm fine with it. The Imperium's cool, and it's like this is where all their stories kind of are based out of mostly.
Yeah.
And the Xenos mostly exists to get beaten up in the stories, and like it's fine. It's fine.
Well, they're also super popular. You know, we gripe about Marines getting all the love sometimes, but like truth is like they're very, very popular. People just love Space Marines, so it's hard to.
I actually think they're pretty rad. Like
I love Space
once I
Marines.
started getting into collecting them, and
Yeah.
it's like I painted them blue, I painted them red, I painted them yellow. I'm
Brian.
like, I like this. This is really appealing to the designer in me.
You're an animal.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brendan. Hey, Titans, thank you for all the great content and being my gateway into 40K.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so sorry.
Welcome.
What would you recommend for a Necron list against Blood Angels or Drukari?
Ooh,
A little different.
that's a good question.
Those are very different matchups.
It's Necrons solve most problems in the same way.
More
warriors?
More warriors.
That's what I'm thinking. Like
Um,
a lot of warriors, like 60.
Yeah, 40 to 60 warriors.
80.
The thing about warriors.
I was trying to be a little reasonable.
The thing about warriors is they shoot so well,
Yeah.
so they could kill anything. Kill tanks, kill non-tanks, kill whatever.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Gauss Reapers, the short inch range,
Yep, we
short
actually
12
like
inch
them.
range. Yeah, they're great. And they're actually mega durable. And if you're Novak, they actually fight,
Yeah.
right? They just do it all.
Exactly.
And Drukari now is getting to a place where they could like wipe a squad. But you could have some nasty Overwatch if they don't get their boat in or whatever to stop
well,
it.
they have a strat for no Overwatch, but yeah.
They do.
Only Cult of Strife.
Strife.
Only Cult of Strife.
Which is what everybody will be taking now.
Not everyone. Just like,
Just the good players.
It's just very, very strong.
But you know, it's this funny thing, and we've been talking about this lately, where it's like witches are the answer to Necron warriors, but you know what is also the answer to witches?
Necron warriors.
More Necron warriors.
Yeah.
Like
The
don't
next
cut your
layer
big
behind.
blobs, add more blobs.
So
Yeah.
you hack your opponent's computer, you find out their list before the game starts, and you're like, how many units of witches do they have? All right, that many +1 units of warriors. Now
Yeah,
I win.
You're gonna lose that race real quick.
Yeah, I think they're almost double the
Your
price.
blobs are a little bit more expensive.
But yeah, you can even think about putting cheap screens in. Some of the new powerful lists for the Drukari actually have very little shooting. So they actually really struggle to clear your screens. So if you have like some scarabs in front of your warriors, and the witches have to charge the scarabs, and then they just lose their witches, that would be sad.
And in a weird way, this is completely untested, and I'm just kind of spitballing, but they also have rend, which is great. But if you have things like, I don't know if wraiths are the answer, but wraiths don't really care about rend. You think about all the times where I'm like, yeah, my incubi are -3 rend, and the witches are -1 or -2, but then they're -4 on the 6s.
Sure.
And like something that doesn't care about that, and that's high toughness. I don't know, could be interesting.
Yeah, good work, good work.
Against Blood Angels?
Same, Blood Angels.
Kind of the same idea.
It's the same
honestly.
idea. Like, and the screening really helps against Blood Angels too.
Yeah.
So same advice. Against combat armies, you want them to hit something that's not valuable to you, and then you kill them.
Yeah,
Right? Like, it's always the same tactic.
totally.
Okay, this one is from B. Bobson.
Bobson!
1 CP for the Zach.
Oh.
Brian
Oh, you got your
mentioned-
first command point.
Yeah.
What are you going to spend it on? What's your favorite 1 CP strat?
Ooh.
Oh, that says a lot
Well,
about
that's a
person.
tough question.
He plays Tau, so they're not going to
Well,
be great.
recently I've been playing Simhan Eldar, probably the Simhan specific one.
That's the advance to charge.
Advance and
great.
reroll.
I
ones
mean,
and
that's
close-
a really
Yep.
good one.
That's a really good strat.
Yeah, okay, good pick.
Good answer.
Brian mentioned how he split fire with Tau to get maximum efficiency.
I do that.
When you split fire, this is a math question, Brian. When
42.
you split fire, how sure would you be that a weapon could get a desired outcome, say 80%, 95%?
Yeah, okay. Actually, yeah, I can describe this. So I do split fire aggressively, and what you do is you have a shooting phase, and I start by taking very risky plays. So I'll split fire aggressively at the beginning, going for like perfect, like I will not put more shots into this unit than exactly the number of wounds it has on the risk that I get 100% effectiveness. And I'll start really risky, and every subsequent activation, I will increase the odds in my favor. And if there's one particular thing I have to do and then a side thing I don't have to. So let's say I have to shoot this unit off the point, and then I want to get as much value as I can everywhere else. Great. I will, even at the very first activation, still take risks. But then if the first risk doesn't pay off, the next one I will way overcompensate, right? But if I'm getting lucky, I'll let it ride. Like I'll keep going, and so I have to reduce the odds that it goes poorly. And I will almost always leave me an out where I'll leave something at the end that could always get the job done. And sometimes you invert it. Sometimes you take the unit at the beginning that can always get the job done, and you go for maximum effectiveness with that, and then you clean up. But it comes down to how crucial to the game the killing is versus just trying to get the maximum effectiveness. But as Tau, you cannot overkill. You only have this one phase, this one thing. You have these few units. You cannot afford to overkill almost at all, or you'll just lose. Yeah. Especially right now with the efficiency of other armies. So splitting fire aggressively is the only way to play.
So in the beginning, you want the probability of killing the unit to be almost 0.
Very low.
And then at the end, you want it to be like almost 100%.
Yeah. You want to start to get as close to 100 as you can by the end. Yeah.
Thank you, Colt. Ideas for Magnus the Red. Knows every cult spell.
Yeah, so how would we do Magnus better, right?
Right. So
he should know every spell.
He says knows every spell, all Tzeentch powers. Regain wounds on successfully cast and deny.
I don't like it.
That's dangerous.
I don't like it.
14 wounds.
No, I'm fine. Keep him with a huge number of wounds.
-1.
Oh, you want him to be obscurable.
We'll make him 16. You can do 16.
14 wounds.
Why 14?
-1 to hit and wound.
Oh, no, not wound 2.
4++ reroll saves.
Whoa.
Super no.
Oh,
What?
my God.
Get out of here.
Okay, I'm fine with all this. How about this? He's 3,000 points.
Like, you see what happens.
What he described, how many points would it have to be to work?
I just wouldn't do it. It makes for
1,200?
bad games.
He'd have to be like 1,200
No, not
points.
1,200.
It's just going to make for bad experience. It's
Like
a
a
polarizing.
Like 1,000.
1,000.
It's a
You'd have to-
polarizing experience. It's not good for the game to have models that are virtually indestructible and destroy everything.
If he
they
was
touch.
not quite so good in combat, you could make him cost 1,000 points like this and it would work.
Oh,
So here's-
if we're making him worse, sure.
If we make his combat worse and he's mostly psychic and he can just keep going,
Make him Mortarian.
yeah.
Sure.
No, hold on. Mortarian fights.
Mortarian still fights very, very well.
But
Just
anyways,
worse than
you
before.
can't do that stuff. I would want to get better at psychic, not better at being invincible.
Smaller versions of these things, but like for example, I could see like 3-up invulns are kind of going away. So I could see him having like a 4-up that you reroll 1s for. So it's like
You used to have the reroll ones too.
you used to, yeah.
Yeah, that was a spell you would do on him.
Yeah. So like almost like halfway on each of these things would be interesting.
Remember when you used to have a 3-up with reroll ones? I remember those times.
Yeah.
Those were dark times.
Dark days. But him like knowing the other cults, that's cool.
You know what I want
I
from
can
him?
also see,
I want the thing that the Lumineth got, where you can just auto cast 4 on a power of 10.
No, that's horrible. I
love that.
completely opposed. I hate all those rules.
You hate
it's
that?
horrible.
I think that's awesome. Like
So unfun
this
to
guy
play
should not
against.
be like failing his powers. I love
He's
the
already
idea.
not failing his powers.
I want him auto cast. Give me the auto
That's
cast.
dumb.
Yeah.
Auto-
In 30K, they make you roll his powers,
Yeah.
but he could not fail a power in 30K.
Yeah, exactly. He's terrifying at 30K, right?
Yeah, because nobody
Like, he's a
has as
problem.
much magic as he does.
Nobody has magic really.
Yeah, he kind of ruined the game when
Yeah.
But I can see the concept that you have here, right? You're trying to look at the design principles that they had for Mortarion and apply them to Magnus, right? It's like Mortarion gets to pick like any of the plague companies. I would give him that version of like the cult spell. He can pick a cult spell despite what cult you are, because he's not part of a cult, stuff like that.
Agreed.
You know, I think that's cool.
Okay. It sounds like we are very divided on Magnus.
We want
We're
him
gonna have to
to
see
be
how he turns out.
distinct from Mortarian.
Oh yeah, and durability is Mortarian's thing.
Right.
But at
So
the
make
same time,
Magnus
like-
good at something else.
Like we had to make sure he couldn't get shot turn 1.
No, I think it
kinda sucks.
He could have been. No, anything that big that gets shot turn 1 by all the guns I have is going to die, right?
It doesn't feel good though. Mortarion wouldn't have died to that army. No way.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
But that's not.
He shouldn't be as durable as Mortarion, but like, that's always the problem with those big models. Is like, they just die to shooting.
Yeah.
There should be small guy, big guy. He starts small in your deployment zone. You hide him, and he gets
He
jacked.
does change
like in the
size.
story.
He does change size.
That's
Gets
true.
mega.
If there was someone that could do it.
Starts chopping people.
Okay.
Solved.
All right.
Done.
Thank you, Christos. What is the opinion on the Cabal of the Obsidian Rose with their single wound reroll and +6 range versus Blackheart? And what type of list would work?
I mean, I'm not crazy about it because I think Blackheart just has so much utility.
Agreed.
And they lean into things that are better. But let's take the second half of it as far as like how would you build a list around that? So it's a single reroll. So we're talking about like Salamander's thing, right? So this means that you want to have units that have like 1 or 2 big shots that you can use the reroll. That's how you like maximize.
Like a blaster or something.
Like a blaster.
Or I guess Dark Lances are better.
Yeah, but wait, it's a reroll to wound.
It's a reroll to wound, right?
But Blackheart's a reroll to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
So things like these lower strength single shot things, like blasters kind of, because you're at that strength 8.
Yeah.
So and you also get the extra range. That's one of the disadvantages of blasters is they're only range 18.
18.
So it takes you to 24. So you're gonna have, I imagine you have like Cabal units with a single blaster in them, spamming that out. So lots of Venoms, or you can put 2 in a Raider because that's cool too.
Yep.
Actually 2 in the Raider because then you are using the 1 reroll and the 1 Dark Lance. And that's kind of the gist, just like a ton of those, right? Lots of bodies.
Yeah. When you have a chapter tactic that's hard to optimize for, don't try to over-optimize for it. Like build the list that you think is a good list, and don't necessarily try to like milk it for everything it's worth.
It's true.
A lot of times you'll have something where maybe their strat is the real thing you should be optimizing for, their unique warlord trait or something like that.
Yeah.
But that particular chapter tactic, I don't think, it doesn't plug any huge gaps in the army.
I wish if you could put it on Scourge, it'd be cool, but they don't get a tactic.
That's true.
Yeah, they could really use that one.
Thank you, Super Reedy.
Thank you.
This one's for me. Your During Public must know. Is it Zach with a CK, Zach with a CH, Zach with a Q, or even Zach with a QCK?
Ooh, it's that one.
Officially, it's CH, but I do like the Q. I'm
I'm thinking about changing it legally.
I might.
Yeah.
I might.
Chat's gonna have to vote on that.
I was thinking QH. ZAQH.
QH.
I
I like QUE.
There's a silent Y.
oh, that's cool.
Zach.
Thank you, Kevin Zhang. Sad that Bike Captain isn't good for Bike armies. Is it worth running him with Master Rider and Chapter Master? Is it better to use Indomitus Captain?
I forget what Master Rider does,
No, I have no idea.
but I like him.
It means you can't fall off your bike.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's true.
Bike captains are fine.
They're fine. Well, I like them. I like them a lot as chapter masters
Yeah.
because you can run around and be putting your buffs in different places, right? That was if I wasn't running Ezekiel in my Dark Angels, I'd have that.
Yeah.
Because you want to be like Inceptors go, and then you can catch up. The Indominus Captain cannot keep up, so it'd be like Chapter Master go, run after them, and hopefully you can be in command range for the next turn.
Yeah.
But with a bike, totally.
And he can become more durable. He's got that toughness. He has wound
that's
over
cool.
an old school guy.
Yeah.
One of the things that stops us is, first of all, we don't love captains that much in general. Like our lists are not predicated around captains like they used to be. And Primaris models have a few advantages. They have attacks and wounds and all that. That's great. They also have transhuman, which if someone really does get up close onto them, they can kind of tank it a little better. But the bike captain is probably the most interesting of the old captains to me, along with the jump pack just because of mobility. But at least the bike captain has toughness.
Yeah.
But the jump captain can like tuck in real close, and you know the flies. You can still take jump captains.
Still take
of course.
jump.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I don't know. They're both jump captains and bike captains are similar for me. Similar. To
Yeah.
the bike captain I would only take in a thematic list with bikes typically, or if I could do something really cute like my Salamanders one,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
where he becomes like a god. You know.
Yeah.
Invincible.
To me, it's that utility that you get. Yeah.
Thank you, Brian Rowe.
Thank you.
Deathwatch question is: if I combat squad a high point kill team, do my opponents have to kill both mini squads for WWSWF?
While we stand, we fight. And yes, they do.
Or bring them down.
So there's no bring it down for that, but for While We Stand, We Fight,
yeah.
they do have to kill both halves.
Unless, specifically, it's drones.
Unless it's Tau plus
Drones got called out.
Yeah, they didn't, because
God.
honestly, drones could be abusive.
Yeah.
We're abusive.
Not in this regard, but yes.
Very briefly, they were.
Yeah, sure.
For that ability, yeah.
But,
I thought you just meant in general because they've always been abusive.
But yeah, with combat squads, that's what you have to do, and you can run some shenanigans with that.
It's a great ability. It's super powerful.
It's
yeah.
clever. Yeah.
He wants to see more Deathwatch also.
We don't own it.
Well, did he say Deathwatch or DW?
He said Deathwatch, right?
Earlier he says Deathwatch, but here he does say DW. So
Ooh, well, we can put some more Deathwing on the table.
We will get around to getting our own Deathwatch army. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, we'll
do it.
We were actually waiting for the box set of Heavy Intercessors to come out,
That's
which
true.
they're still not out yet,
Yeah,
right? Or are they out now?
I think they're out.
they were
The Kill Team
teased.
box is out.
They were teased anyway.
The Kill Team box is
Something
out, but I
online,
think
yeah.
they might. I don't know. Anyways, that was one of the things we were
you're
waiting for, but we've got a few army projects on the go. This batch of Space Marines I just painted, I'm going to take a break from Space Marines, and
I was gonna do them next, but then
The
I
Dark
love the
Mechanicals.
Dark Angels. Well, even the Dark Angels.
okay, yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and then I was like, oh, Dark Angels.
yeah, and it is still a DW army, so you're good.
There you go.
Yeah, you still got that Deathwing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, More Factus Miko. Earlier we were talking to him about dreads, and he's saying he's running his dreads as Iron Hands. He's worked out lore-based arguments as to why Mortarian could be susceptible to any chapter, not just Ultramarines for funsies. Could be SUCC.
Oh, Successor.
Successor, sorry. To any chapter, not just Ultramarines.
Yeah, I think that's
for
fine.
funsies.
No, here's the way I always thought about this.
Yeah.
Don't worry about this so much, because even if you say you're an Ultramarine Successor, that doesn't mean that these are the only rules that would embody Ultramarines.
Of course.
Right?
Of course. Yeah.
Like, Ultramarines could be embodied by almost any other rules.
Yeah.
Especially Ultramarines.
Yeah, well, and especially once they've gone through the transformation of becoming their own legion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the thing is, like, it's just a tool, right? It's like, use the rules that feel like the lore of the chapter that you want them to be, right?
Totally. That represents the fighting style you care
Exactly. Like, I just take that to the most extreme, where it's like, I have my custom Scarbrand, and like, I use the rules of Scarbrand, but to me, he's just like a Bloodthirster that's as powerful as Scarbrand, because that's what I like, and I think that's totally cool. Give yourself permission to do that.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, and yeah, thank you. That's why I couldn't remember the last time we had spoke. So I was asking about the Iron Hands for the Dreadnoughts and stuff like that. So.
Well, Miko's been going through a lot of different, which is, I think, what they're alluding to here, a lot of different army ideas.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, and you can try them all out. That's a nice thing. You can try them out.
Exactly.
Yeah, Miko sent me some of the conversions they were working on. It was looking
Oh,
great.
the conversions look great. You see those in Discord?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
really,
nice.
really good.
Thank you, Tris. Cowabunga Titans.
Cowabunga!
Yeah.
Always glad to see my Ultras being played. I own 2 Gladiators, but I feel like their points cost isn't that effective. I do love the ATVs, though. Me too.
Yeah.
Depends on the type of gladiator. Reapers are good. It's a lot of shots.
But you still
How many
wouldn't
witch squads could you pick up with a gladiator reaper?
I mean,
A whole squad.
2. Pick up 2
You're not
squads.
gonna get line of sight of them, but
Let's say you did.
that's the
Because your
problem,
other
though.
gladiator was the single shot
That's-
laser beam.
Okay, so they're
failed to kill a
Popped
raider.
your raider.
Be like night shield, and be like, oh.
I think that they suffer from this problem that a lot of Space Marine units suffer from.
Yeah.
Where the book has some really outstanding units.
Exactly.
And when you put all those outstanding units into your list, you're at 2,000 points. You're actually at like 2,300 points.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, what is the 600 points I'm taking out from there to put in 2 tanks that are going to be worse than XYZ, right? And so it's not that the gladiators are poor. It's just that they just don't fit when you're trying to make the list.
One of them is definitely poor. And another is okay.
Well,
the
let's
funny
just
thing is
assume
the
it's best
Reaper is
one,
the
right?
cheapest, isn't it, of
Yeah.
them all? The
The-
other ones
the
are
Reaper
more
is-
That
expensive.
factors into it too.
The best one
into
by
it.
far.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not going to make a judgment call yet. I'm going to put them in as like utility DACA picks
They'll
in
be
my
much
more
better
balanced
then.
lists.
Yeah.
I think they're cool.
And I think
cool.
I think we're going to find that they're pretty interesting.
Yeah.
If they find their right target in the game.
I agree
If
with
they
what
don't
you
find
said.
their right target, then yeah, you're not going to get that much. match.
Especially as Ultramarines.
Yeah.
Right? You put your intercessors on a point, you screen out charging your gladiator, and then the gladiator can overwatch for the intercessors. They're
That's
getting
a-
charged
that's
by
a cute
witches.
ability.
Yeah, that's cool.
Witches are dead.
And the nice thing
But
you can
can't overwatch against the witches.
Well, They didn't say anything about Ultramarine support over.
Okay, how about we stop?
do, actually.
How about we stop saying witches and we say some other unit? You can't overwatch.
He's calling me out. I can't accept this.
Fair enough.
Thank you, Max. I just had a 5-round banger on Tabletop Simulator, Ogres versus Gloomspite.
Yeah.
Nice.
When is your next AOS game and what armies?
Whoa,
That's a good question.
That's a tough question. Yes.
I'm painting up my Lumineth. I don't know if that'll be our next game because it's a painstaking army.
I doubt it.
Yeah, it's a painstaking army, and I want to put some love into them. But I haven't had a chance to play my Tzeentch demons yet, which I'm excited about, and it's a really cool army with a lot of really unique abilities.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty fun. You haven't played several of your armies yet.
Yeah.
Some of them are like 80% finished, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
well, some
you
of them
need to put a bit of work in.
Yeah, they need some work. So I have my Iron Jaws that need a lot of work, but are a small elite army that's not hard to paint. One that could be a good matchup against that is my Legions of Nagash.
Ooh.
Because they at least have bodies that can absorb the ridiculous amount of mortal wounds. And who doesn't want to play zombie dragons? So, and of course my Karajan, I want to give them all the love, so they're going to be a little different.
Yeah, they're like the Lumineth for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then of course we'll have Mel's Eels on at some point, but I don't know. There's just so much going on.
We don't have
it. Won't be long though.
Yeah,
it
it won't be long. I really want to get a game in.
We just love it. So.
And I think by the end of this year, we will actually have a fair number of factions.
Totally.
Right? I think 6, 7, 8. I'll have, I think, 8.
8?
By the end of the year. And so...
For branding, can we make it 7?
Okay. Yeah, I'll cut one. Throw it in the garbage.
7.
Off the shelf.
It's your Stormcast.
So yeah, I'll have... Not the Stormcast. That was
Should
so
be the
mean.
Stormcast.
He just said under his breath, it's the Stormcast. It's so mean.
Right in the trash.
Yeah, I'll have that. And I think you'll probably have around the same, right?
Yeah, at least.
So that'll be a lot. That's more than most dedicated AOS channels have.
It's true. Well, we'll at least continue the trend. We've been doing about one a month, just because we like it. So it's a new month. So
it's gonna happen
within the next few weeks for sure.
That's true.
Quick another thank you to Scython for the donation.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And thank you, Brian Anderson. Hey Titans, I just found you. This is my first live stream. Love your channel. Cheers from Denmark.
Whoa.
Woo, thank you so much.
Hi, Brian.
Yeah, welcome.
Okay, thank you, Lee. Hi guys, love the channel. First super chat. What are your thoughts on 50 Plague Marines, and what would you take with them?
50 Plague Marines?
How many points is that?
2,500.
No.
How many points are they piece?
They're
22?
20.
Or are they 20?
They're 20, so it should be easy math.
They're flat 20?
Yeah.
But how many flails do you have?
50 of them?
That means it's actually
Isn't
1,500
that 2,000
points.
points right there? What's math?
What?
50 times 20.
No, that's only 1,000 points. What I'm trying to say is how many flails. So it's a little more than half your army with some special weapons, right?
So
Sounds amazing.
I think it's great, genuinely great.
Actually good.
Yeah. I would probably run 50.
I'd get some...
All squads of 10 with 1 unit of Poxwalkers.
I wouldn't do all squads of 10.
There's not much. Would you take an extra detachment then?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
But the CP though. Take Talonman, I guess.
Yeah. I would take a patrol and then bring some Poxwalkers. Poxwalkers can stay home or screen.
Yeah. I'd put a flail, at least one flail in each of them.
Well, if you're taking 10 mans, you're going to double flail it.
Well, yeah, naturally.
Yeah.
1 flail for each set of 5.
Yeah.
And I personally wouldn't give them the shooting. I would just take 2 Plague Burst Crawlers to support them.
Yeah, 2 Plague Burst Crawlers, trick out all the characters.
Yeah.
And you're good to go.
I think you actually do take the Plague Surge in this list.
Yeah.
It's enough bodies that you'll actually get that back. It's cool.
I don't know how many. I think I have 30. You have maybe around 30 as well. We could try combining our forces.
That's right.
To make one giant Plague Marine.
Yeah, we ran third the other
just
day.
1 giant Plague Marine.
Yeah.
1 giant Plague Marine is 1,000 ants or 1 million ants.
1 million ants.
1 million Plague Marines. That'd be a good album name too. Yeah,
It's the worst album ever. Everyone knows. So pretentious.
Thank you, Daminit. Bought a Warhammer Fantasy Battle WOC Battalion.
WC?
WOC?
World of Caring.
No, stop it.
Warriors of Chaos?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, nice.
Warhammer Fantasy Battle, right?
It
That
is.
was-
Yeah.
Cool.
Battalion Box the other day and got curious. Did y'all ever play the Age of Reckoning MMO? Any, or do you maybe still play the game today? It's still around.
I didn't know.
still
I
around?
did not know it was still
No
around.
way.
So here's what happened. So I loved that game because it was a really fun game. It was all PvP based. Blah,
Yeah,
blah,
it was made by the Dark Age of Camelot people.
Yeah, it was totally about that. It's like my
Mythic
jam.
or something. I forget. What
No,
they're
it's
called.
Mythic. It was
Mythic, right? Yeah, Mythic made it.
And I stopped playing for a while, and one day I was like, I want to play it. And I go to the website, and I kid you not, literally it was the exact day that they closed the servers. For the
Oh
last
no!
time. I was like, wow.
Adrian, no.
However, a year or two ago, actually some independent developers have actually started it up, and so they're running the servers themselves, and so the game is alive again, and better than ever because they've done some quality of life changes. It's the classic. We've seen this before with certain games. So I played it briefly, but
It's old now.
It's old, and I just don't have time for that
a
style.
little
of
old, yeah.
It's a
MMO.
slog, yeah.
It's
I did play it as well.
Yeah.
I didn't play it a lot.
Yeah.
But when that like hot MMO time, when there
Yeah.
was so much stuff, like, and you had so much pick, like you could go to Conan
Yeah.
was out at that time, which was actually
That
good.
was so much fun.
Right? Obviously, Warcraft was always there.
Naturally.
Lord of the Rings was a horrible game, but like rad
Yep.
to be like in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, that was fun,
so
too.
like bouncing back and forth, they all took so much time. But we're like teenagers, so
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
totally like who cares? Like yeah, I could put 200 hours into this game
Yeah.
this week.
I know.
Like no problem.
I know. Now I'm like, to get to level 10 out of 60, I was like, I don't have time for that.
Funny enough, my wife never played any games ever.
Yeah.
No games, never liked any video games. And I was like always trying to like just play this, just try a thing, like play Tetris, try
Right.
Mario. She's like, no, it's all stupid. And then one time I was like, try this World of Warcraft thing. You can like play in the
no.
world with me.
Oh no!
And she was like, this is rad. She hates every game she's ever seen.
great.
But just like didn't realize that you could be like in a world and
Yeah.
these are like all real people.
Yeah, yeah.
And like running around but she was standing in the center of like Goldshire or something, and everyone was just like weird, like coming up and dancing in front of her. She's like, "What is going on here?" And it was just like, "That's a real person doing that weird thing to you." And she was both like amazed, but kind of like, "This is really dumb." Also, so unique experiences with them.
And then you took her to the Barrens and she stopped playing.
yeah.
Zach, did you miss one from ElfSync? Is it possible?
Or
Zach is literally infallible.
Oh, I did actually miss one.
no, he
from
was
Elfsync.
saving it for just this moment.
No, I did. Thank you, Bridger, for the catch. And it's just really reiterating Brian making fun of me, which is ElfSync says, thank you, ElfSync, by the way. ElfSync says, PCs also have mice and keyboards, Brian. I maniacally LOL'd so hard, my neighbors now probably think I'm some sort of evil genius.
Yeah, I got you good with that one.
Yeah, you did.
It was pretty brutal,
That was
bro.
a zinger.
It was.
He was trying to say you can't like write on a notepad.
We're not holding
like, what do you
anything
want,
back.
I can't let that stand.
I did find the notepad, actually, eventually. Bridger helped me, and then I used it.
Bridger helped you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, PCs are just so... I don't want to... It's going to be a whole thing if I have an opinion on this.
if Brian is giving you a hard time for that, you know it's bad.
Yeah, I hate PCs.
This is like a daily conversation in the
I hate
studio.
PCs, but I know where the notepad is.
PCs are people too.
Yeah, I don't even know what the notepad's called. Okay.
Just dying.
Thank you, Caldorf. Hey, Titans, looking forward to the new hobby segments.
Me too.
I just finished 2 models in over 20 years. Any chance for
Wait,
any...
you
Wow.
took him 20 years to paint 2 models?
It says... it just says I just finished.
I wanna see these models,
two
Caldor.
First 2 models in over 20
Oh,
years.
okay. That makes sense.
Oh.
I was going to say, if you worked on 2 models for 20 years, Caldor, you got to send these pics.
It was the.
Any chance for any cursed city? I'd like to suggest checking out the free treasure of Wolfenkarn.
I don't know what that is, but I know Curse City.
Thing too.
Are we getting Cursed City?
Can we get it?
Okay.
Please?
It's
we get
apparently
it?
hard to get.
Apparently, they oversold
It's like sold
it.
out.
Of course.
So
We know some guys.
we can.
We do know a few people.
There's a lot of models in it.
Let's
though.
do it. I want to paint them. Like
So
just as a
I
project.
want to paint them too, and I am going to collect that Death Army for sure. So I'll definitely want a box just for the dudes inside. The jury's still up for me of whether it's actually an interesting game or not. Because I was
I've
burned
done
by
no research.
Blackstone.
Blackstone
That's not a fun game.
is
Did you
not
play
a
Blackstone?
well-made game.
Once, yeah.
It's not very cool.
Yeah.
Like
Very good.
it's fine, but it's not great.
Their
And
games are really.
It looked a lot like
cool.
Blackstone.
Yeah.
Like, am I wrong when you look at it? It looks very
Of
Blackstone.
course. So they're both Warhammer
Quest, right.
based, so unless they did a fundamental change.
models are right.
There's something there. Blackstone was close. They just needed to change a couple things. Like the AI system was just not quite there. If the AI system was better, Blackstone would be a good game.
Yeah, I love
they're
the
trying to
concept.
make a video game on a tabletop,
Yeah,
and it doesn't translate.
I love the concept of like these. It's like what is it? House on a Haunted Hill. Or
Yeah,
it's
right.
Like procedurally generated
Pandemic.
dungeons. Yeah. I'm like, there's something really cool there.
Yeah.
And the theme is awesome.
Oh my God, yes.
Right? The theme is even cooler than Blackstone, for
Oh,
sure,
for
right?
It's like Darkest Dungeon, Dark Souls, but Warhammer, and you're like,
Yeah.
yes.
Sign
So
me up.
we'll definitely buy the box. If the game looks like it'd be fun to play and stream, we'll look into it.
There you go.
Drukari question.
Yeah.
In a real Space Raider detachment, my raiders need to be assigned to a detachment. Do they need the obsession of the detachment they are assigned? In other words, can a Witch Raider have a Cabal accession?
No, it cannot. But here's the thing. Well, yeah, no, they can't, right? So you have to, like, if they're a witch cult, they have to be witch cult. But this is something that I actually I noticed recently because John Naden brought it up, is the fact that you can mix detachments now. So you can have like a witch detachment with Cabal units. Just the Cabal units don't get their obsession.
Right.
So that doesn't apply here, but depending on what you're trying to do, you can do that. But I will also say that the Drukari transports are special because they're not chapter locked. You can put anyone inside of anything. So I run all of mine as Blackheart because I like the rerolls. But you can put anything in. I put my witches in it.
Yeah.
Anything.
And you just get one transport per other infantry squad you have?
Per troops choice.
Is it troops
No,
or infantry?
It's infantry. So your
you
characters
get-
unlock more too.
So you
Oh, that's
usually
right,
take
yeah.
one Archon, so you get one for an Archon.
Yeah.
And then you take 3 Incubi squads or whatever.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
So then that's 4 you can have, and then you take 1 troop squad. What
Yeah,
are they?
the
Cabalites?
Cabalites.
So then you can have 5, and that's all you have.
You
is
got your
5.
base. Well, then you can get cheekier, right? You put Scourge in there. You put
you put your
Mandrakes.
Scourge in Mandrake.
Those count.
And
And you
then
also
those-
want those with Blackheart if you're running Blackheart. I know you're not in this case, but yeah, you can get up there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that's the trick, right? And then you can unlock enough transports for your whole army and make them all black
The
heart.
weird thing is, like, in the real space detachment, they're all in the same. So your witch troops could potentially unlock a transport that's Blackheart.
We'd have to look into the rules on that.
Maybe?
Yeah. Either way, even if that's not the way it worked we just described, you could probably get enough.
It's
transports.
very flexible.
Yeah.
Thank you, Riley Sullivan. Would it make the Hammerfall bunker fun if it could overwatch for the whole phase against all targets it had in line of sight with its bolters for 1 CP?
So it's like if you're
it's
charging
that.
anywhere within its line of sight, it can overwatch.
For 1 CP.
That would actually genuinely be not good because it only has 3 shots
6.
and hitting on 6s.
6 shots.
Well, hold on. It only has 3.
It has 2 heavy bolters. doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. It has a heavy
Oh.
bolter array.
Well, that's mega poop.
Yeah.
So it's just 3
Which
heavy
is
bolter
less
shots.
shots. Than
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to change that.
You'd have to have it hit on its ballistic skill or something to even have a chance.
At least.
At least, because the ballistic skill is 4 up.
But I think a version of that could be genuinely interesting.
Yes, the concept is really cool, that it's like a defensive whatever.
It also falls maybe for 1 CP into this like turn 5 desperado, like
Yeah.
I'm charging 2 witches and your
Right.
1 Necron warrior on the like. Well, wait, that wouldn't make sense because that
Well,
would be Space Marines.
We're in a 2v2 game now.
But no, yeah, 2v2 game.
It doesn't happen.
But not.
Do you know what
good.
I would want out of
Yeah.
it? Honestly, a couple simple things that I think would be great. The rules for fortifications just suck. They're not good.
Yep.
So make it an actual vehicle with 0 movement, like
Right.
they've done with many other encamped little guns. So it's a gun placement with 0 movement. It's a vehicle. All the normal rules apply.
Right.
And then let it deep strike.
I was waiting for the deep strike. I
And-
did not say the StarCraft thing.
And if there's a tech marine nearby, it gets 6-inch movement. You can just like
No,
float
it never
you
moves.
just hover it around.
It never, ever, ever moves. Doesn't do what he's saying.
And then you can, but only if
But
you're
you
next
can
to
you can make it so that you could shoot at enemies that are within range of it or
mineral
something like
piles.
that, right?
Yes, I agree.
You can lift. Well, you can't lift bunkers in StarCraft, but you can lift like everything else in StarCraft. So why not be able to lift the Hammerfall bunker?
I mean, conceptually,
Because it's a bunker.
this exists right with the
In the story-
drop pod that
no, this
lands
thing-
and just has guns in it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
True.
And this thing in the story is dropped in.
Is
They
it really?
literally wrote the
Yeah.
Does
rules
it
for
actually
it.
say
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I think okay.
Marine, they just built it there, like, right? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that's
of
true.
course
That's
not,
true.
right?
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah,
cool.
I think they screwed up, and they've screwed up with most of the fortifications. The rules are bad.
They're too worried about things.
They're worried about people coming up with jank, which cool, but just write the rules. Don't write the rules such that no one will ever take them to prevent the jank.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? You've gotten it the wrong way.
Thank you, DN Stuff. This is a quick one. I saw a poster that said, "Missing, have you seen my cat?" I immediately rang the number and told them I hadn't. I like to help where I can.
It's a good way to make new friends, potentially.
Yeah.
I have cats, they come back. They know how to get home.
They don't.
If they want to
do
come
not
back,
always come back.
If they want to come back, they'll come back.
Don't say it like that.
There's a third option that we won't. There's a third thing that could happen, but
There's more than 3 things.
That was an amazing exchange.
There are many more than 3. Get imaginative.
Thank you, Athalia's Gaming Lounge.
Thank you.
Okay, Real Space Poison Tongue, Dark Creed, Cursed Blade. Understood on the Haywire Talos. Is there a better option to deal with Necron, and Space Marine vehicles?
Ooh, vehicles.
Oh, yeah. Necrons, yeah, it's interesting against like the Necron ones because they're so dang durable. Like the T8 on the Doomsday Arcs.
Haywire.
Oof. That's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying. Could we use the Haywire?
Yeah, I think so, totally.
The Haywire, the math on the Haywire is not amazing, though. Like, it takes quite a bit of Haywire.
Yeah, to me it still needs to be tested, but I do think it's interesting.
It's not what it was. It used to be you take a bunch of Haywire and you insta-kill one vehicle a turn.
Yeah, any vehicle, no
And
matter what its save or
That was unhealthy.
anything. Yeah, that sucks.
James made the change. They're like, oh, right, this weapon shouldn't just hard counter a class of unit. It should be kind of strong against that class of unit. And if you want to kill a vehicle, you still have to commit a bunch of something.
Yeah, the new Haywire is worse against Doomsday Arcs, actually, more I think about it, because it relies on high AP. Like, you can do the mortal wounds, but the main thing is, like, you're wounding on 4s and you have -3 AP. Like, that's awesome until you have quantum shielding and whatever, for the invul, not the other part. So, but I think it is a solution. It's probably the best drukari solution, because you don't put Dark Lance. That's even worse, right? Blasters, all the other stuff.
Yeah,
is even
but Dark
worse.
Lances, they said Space Marine and Necron.
Yeah.
Dark Lances are great for Space Marine.
They're great for space.
So is Haywire, though.
Yeah, but the Dark Lance is better.
AP3.
At that point, the Dark Lance is the better
I also
option.
like the Dark Lances with the new damage because they're min 4, which is like, that's Outriders,
That's good,
that's
that's good.
aggressors next to a
Yeah.
Apothecary. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just good against everything. You know,
Yeah.
we saw that last week or whatever that was.
We need to make a list with as many Dark Lances as you can get.
Well, you could put them on Ravagers, right? You could have 3 on a Ravager, which
Yeah.
is really great.
That's kind of poop, though. But
It's not bad.
It's less expensive
they'll
than you
just
thought.
they'll just kill it though.
No, they have range.
They have range, which is also their
And they could
superpower.
peek out just behind some way back obscuring, and then you're not going to draw bead to them.
Yeah, we'll try it.
Yeah, Dark Lances are pretty great.
That's where it's at now.
Thank you, Vindicatus. For Deathwatch Chaplain.
Smash Chaplain, yeah.
Master, Imp Sword, Benediction. Is it worth to take extra trait for Fight First or +2 Strength? Also, thoughts on new speeders?
I think so. I think
Always worth it.
if you're gonna go down that route, go all the way.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It can be really strong, and it's genuinely fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially throw him on a bike, and he's actually fast.
Yes, my Blood Angel Chaplain was awesome.
Yeah, they actually
He
are
didn't
pretty
have to do anything. He was just awesome.
good. Yeah, it was great.
He didn't do anything.
But
he was awesome.
He was awesome.
He was awesome the whole time. Yeah, you win no matter what.
Yeah.
There was a second question. What was the second question?
Thoughts on new speeders?
Okay.
White Scars, yes.
Dark
no.
Angels.
No, yeah.
White
Not
Scars
amazing.
get they get advance in Invuln.
No,
Or did they take that strat away?
Every
Sorry,
time
you're
How old
thinking
is
about,
this?
he keeps
hold on.
trying to give them that.
Yeah, the thing you're talking about is the Raven Wing.
No.
White Scars used to have
No,
advance and getting in.
Space Marines used to have it, but White Scars
Yeah.
did it best.
Right.
And it's gone.
Yeah.
Just like the shooting on death, apparently.
Yeah.
But the Dark Angels ones are
Yeah.
the most interesting. Haven't tried them out, but
Because they get an invuln.
Yeah.
they either get an invuln or they don't move and they get +1 to hit, which
Right.
is important for
They're both
vehicles.
good.
You know, Brian's hitting on 4s; these guys will be hitting on 2s.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's good.
Yeah, but they're similar to the Gladiators and all the other things that we talked about before in the sense that they are actually pretty cool, but they don't solve a big problem the Space Marines have, and they're worse than the other choices in the book.
Yeah.
So they're still better than almost everything in my Tau Codex, but they're worse than most of the best things in the Space Marine Codex. So I think they're cool models, and I'm actually about to get some for my White Scars just stylistically.
He just wanted to argue with you.
But I don't think there's anything special. Like, they're not really standout yet.
Yeah, well said.
Would you advance and shoot them?
No.
I think everything's heavy.
They're heavies, dude.
No way.
Everything.
Why would you put heavy weapons on a land speeder? That doesn't make sense.
Because it can get there fast and then stop and shoot. Park and shoot. It's got to park.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's terrible design.
Safety first.
Terrible design.
Thank you, Disco Demon. Elysian, so good. Painting up my Renegade Red Hunters for Kill Team.
Cool.
Nice.
If you had to play a Renegade chapter, which non-founding chapter would you guys choose?
Ooh. Renegade. I mean, it's got to be Huron Blackheart with the Red Corsairs.
That's pretty classy.
That's super classy.
What's the, I'm forgetting them now, the Death Guard one.
Yes, the
that
one,
everyone was
the
really loving
Purge.
for a while. The Purge.
I love the Purge thematically.
It actually has really cool stories.
Super cool.
They're pretty rad.
Flawless Host is really cool too.
Oh, Flawless Host is cool too.
That's nice.
Soul Drinker, is that Renegade?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Those are cool.
They're super cool. They have a cool scheme too.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, so Caldorf. Thank you, Caldorf. Sorry, I had the GW narrative campaign title completely wrong from his earlier question. The Dark Cities one. He mentioned something none of us knew. It's called A Fool's Trove in Ulafkarn.
I also do not know
Hope
this.
you enjoy this stuff.
Is this a campaign or a story? Or?
Yeah. Narrative campaign title.
No, I don't know it.
Earlier, he said Treasure of Wolfenkarn.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
I'll check it out.
Fool's Trove. Yeah. Thank you. Where did this one? Okay. Thank you, Rudger Blake. I play Marines, and my friend plays Speed Freaks Orcs.
Nice.
I've gotten swamped if I go too light on anti-tank. But last game, I ran 2 Redemptors, and it was a slaughter. Balance suggestion.
Yeah.
Okay. This is tough. So the Space Marines are way better than the Speed Freaks.
There's also this weird hidden factor of everything Orcs is always super swingy.
Yeah, right.
Especially the buggies. So the buggies one game can be amazing and the next game do nothing.
Remember we had that one buggy that did 30 wounds to my
Right.
whatever. I forget what it was, like a plane or something big.
Wasn't
You
it
just
a knight?
it was a knight.
knight.
Yeah, you just ice this one knight with one buggy.
Yeah.
And we were like, what is this buggy doing? It's going to Candyland, this buggy.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Orcs are built for Candyland.
Yeah.
So you might have small end problems where you don't play enough games to see how balanced the matchup really is. Although Space Marines are significantly stronger than buggy Orcs.
Than any orcs.
But we're talking about buggy Orcs.
Yeah. Well,
No, 'cause
I
buggy orcs
specify
are-
that because buggy orcs are actually decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The
the
Space Marines are still way better.
yeah.
Especially with 2 Redemptors.
Okay,
That's
so balance questions. The Redemptors are really strong.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to watch out because they'll work in all phases against those buggies, right?
Yep.
And the buggies will lose a lot of efficiency in killing them.
Yep.
So don't do that. The Redemptors are a problem.
Yep.
The shock jump dragstas are great at killing Redemptors with Death Skulls
Sure.
because they're the D6 damage. You get the rerolls, high AP, 2 shots hitting on 3s. It's really good against them.
Hope they didn't put up their Space Marine invuln.
Honestly, that'd be don't
Now-
take a psyker. That's
now
too
Don't
you-
take any cycles.
Yeah.
Don't. Just in
The
general.
Space Marines have really efficient tank killing in the form of Eradicators and Inceptors as well. Definitely you're going to want to avoid those units because they'll just wipe the orcs off the board.
I think it's anything.
If the Space Marines tech into, we've done it before where we did the White Scars against buggies, and I brought no tank killing.
Yeah.
And they still all died, right?
Yeah. So it's still tough, but it's fun and it's interesting.
It was more interesting, your stuff wasn't just at threat turn 1.
Yeah.
So if you take a more combat-oriented Space Marine army, then at least the orcs choose when and where to engage.
Yeah, and to that same point, also terrain, right? So I think orcs have traditionally, and still to this day, relied heavily on terrain to be able to play intelligently. It used to be going from cover to cover. Now it's from obscuring to another obscuring because they simply can't take the full punch of an army.
They can't,
So
yeah.
that's something you can also play with, of course.
Yeah. So that I think try to tool out for more combat, and then even if the orcs lose, at least they chose how and when. They got
least
to
they
use
can
their
get
toys.
Crumpin.
They got to use their toys before they lost. It's not just they just got wiped with no answer.
Exactly.
Thanks, Edward.
Thanks.
This was Edward earlier about the ice cream, right? Just in case you missed my regular chat, I'm making double strength vanilla ice cream with a pomegranate chocolate sauce.
Ooh.
Just making ice cream.
Sounds
yeah.
dope.
I'm digging it. Thank you.
Vanilla double strength. That probably.
I want ice cream.
I want pomegranate.
Thank you, Not So Average Joe. My BA list right now uses aggressors for durability, Vanguard vets with LC plus shield, and Sanguinary Guard priest and ancient with PF. Paris. Thoughts?
Yes.
Those are all good things.
I think it's sick. And I assume the aggressors are also like your clearing too, which is something Bridger was talking about the other day. Because they're like durable, not more durable than a lot of the other stuff.
Gravis is durable, right? You got two really good strats on Gravis.
Yeah, I'm really in love with the strat options on.
And the 3 wounds, T5, like they're
durable.
they're real.
They're durable. I think it's cool. I think it sounds great.
I think yeah, you're in a good spot. As we said, use those aggressors, clear the screens. Everyone else drops in, gets crumping. It's good.
This is 1,000 points, right? It's really nasty.
Well, it depends how big those squads are. It sounded like well less than 2,000.
Yeah.
Because I think they left out some of their ancillary stuff.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
I didn't hear any. I heard one character only, right?
Yeah.
Like a Sang Priest.
I like it though.
Thank you, Coronel Panic. Good evening from Denmark, lads.
Good evening.
What is the correct math for Repentia with a magnifier? Strength 3 plus 1 times 2, or Strength 3 times 2 plus 1.
Right.
So he's asking the order
Yeah,
of this,
so-
right? 7 or 8 strength.
Yeah.
It's
does
dumb the way it
This
works
is fun.
now. It's dumb. I want to not even.
It's always been dumb for different reasons.
Yeah, but I don't want to confuse them.
Okay, let's not confuse
The
them.
way it works now is you do the multiplier first, and then you add any modifiers. So they're going to be strength 3 base. It's going to go to times 2 with your eviscerator. So they're going to be 6, and then it goes to 7. That's the way it works in the game right now.
And that's all of 40K is multiplication before addition.
Yep. So
Didn't
what's the
used to
time?
be, but yes. Now that's what it is.
Yeah.
The reason it's
They've
dumb
flip-flopped before, but yeah, tell us why it's dumb.
is that they did the flip. So they wrote rules around it was plus to your characteristic and then multiplier from weapon. So it was characteristic then weapon. It wasn't anything about plus then multiply. It was characteristic then weapon, which made it 8 before.
Right.
And that was like an important strength to be at.
Yeah.
7 doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Now that they've done it to just all be times then plus, you're strength 7 and it feels bad because you're like, why am I strength 7?
Doesn't
This is
matter.
meaningless.
So it's meaningless because you always have to be whatever double plus,
Right.
2
Like you're
for it to
wounding,
matter.
You're wounding vehicles, but better now.
Right, you wound tough 7 on a 4.
But we see this even with the Dreadnoughts, right? When you have the upgraded Tech Marine, his
Yes.
warlord trait gives +1 strength and almost.
They go to strength 13.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
is meaningless.
They all have ×2 weapons. So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
there's literally nothing with toughness 12,
right.
right? It's like what?
Exactly. It's literally meaningless.
Yeah.
And
It's dumb.
they've really screwed up this part.
So, yeah.
I think the old way was much more interesting. Yes, it can create units with very, very, very high strengths, right? Aberrants could get to like 20 strength almost.
Yeah. With the stop sign.
I mean,
Yeah, which
But who
was like,
cares? This is 40K.
that's what
man.
I'm saying. Who cares?
Who cares?
It's rad.
they just need to write the new codexes knowing that it's multiply then add. So instead of +1, give it +2. Done.
Oh yeah. So you
Right?
think it's really
Like-
just a bookkeeping reason they wanted to do it? And they'll.
The reason they did it is nobody knew how it worked before. The way that they explained
So
it
people
before
are just starting to learn, so they want to
was
shake it up.
nonsense. The way they said it before was they said in the book multiply then add, and then in the FAQ they were like, no, but like these are different things that you're multiplying and then adding. So you have to do this one multiply add,
there was
and that one multiply.
There was actually different, whether it modified your characteristic
Right.
or your weapon or something like that.
And there's a thing with like spells versus buffs.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
was,
it was.
horrifically complicated for no reason.
Yeah.
But this is all in the previous edition, so they had a chance to write the one rule clearly in the new edition.
And they did. It's multiply and add.
They just
why
chose the wrong way.
change it?
They had a 50-50.
No. This is
They didn't
this is
actually
the
change
right
it.
way.
This is
This is the right way. This is PEMDAS. Like
Yeah.
you should multiply then add.
Yeah.
Now they just need to update all the data sheets to give +2 strength instead of +1.
I know.
Or does all of math need to update?
To match it.
to change
Add and then multiply.
We don't have to follow math. It's like we make up this game as we go, you know? They can
It's
do
the
whatever they
41st millennium. That's long out of the window.
want. I don't understand.
So we did kind of give him an answer, right?
No, we
Yeah,
gave a very
yeah.
specific
We
answer.
gave an
It's
answer.
multiply then add.
At the end of the day, you're Penchi are getting the real to wound, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still won anyways.
Oh, gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tech Goblin. Catching up on the earlier mention of Penitent. Penitent is Inquisition and Occult with Bequin, Eisenhorn, and a sweet, sweet Blood Angel, among others.
What?
Eisenhorn's pretty cool
Yeah.
Sick. Okay.
because he's got the demon host
Oh.
and he makes it go
Yeah.
Super Saiyan.
Yes. This is the recent
You
one.
guys keep following news on the show, the Eisenhorn show?
No.
No.
Anything new?
No.
Did they cast the show?
No, I looked a couple weeks
Because
ago.
our Discord,
Oh no.
our Discord could give
Oh,
them
yeah.
some advice on how to cast that show.
I think a lot of this stuff.
Hey, Hollywood,
'cause of
contact our Discord. They got ideas for you.
Thank you, JT. Great to get on board, Zach. What are your thoughts on Telemon Dreads?
Yeah, how do you feel about the Telemon?
Are we going to get terrain vids from you? But seriously, Telemon Dreads. Let's talk about Telemon Dreads. I think they're super cool looking. I have a great memory where I had Greg. I got one down to 1, and then I had the
How
little.
he did his mortal wound?
Yeah, he's like the Telemon took a step and just blew up. So cool.
His trap.
Yeah, it's his trap.
Yeah, his trap. They're super cool though. Looking. So I guess that's it.
It sounds
Sorry, I
like
know-
he.
Now,
that was
the
like a low-key way of saying he thinks they suck.
I know.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Zach. Thank you for taking my side.
Wow.
But I
It's
mean,
two-
like if you,
2v2.
We know where you stand now.
but they actually like when you have a Custodes army like, and you're playing like I think I want to see one. You know, like they're tall.
It gives you some diversity in the range.
dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah, taller guy. Like it looks cool in there. Yeah. Terrain vids. Yes, maybe. We'll see.
That's a yes. He's committed.
What's gonna happen?
Yeah, that was
He
kind of a
told me-
worrying.
Yeah, he told me he's doing it. So
Yeah, Brian's like,
I thought we were committed to doing this.
yeah,
What?
we'll make sure he does it.
Thank you,
He's
damn
not
it.
leaving today until he does.
Thank you, damn it. Question: all Titans have a Primarch waifu. So whose Primarch what Primarch does Zach want to romance?
Oh.
Maybe Magnus. He did do nothing wrong. It is Magnus.
Yeah, that is your favorite.
Magnus is my favorite.
Yeah.
Probably, maybe one of my favorite characters in all of the lore.
Okay.
I have 30K Thousand Suns. I loved A Thousand Suns, the novels, and Prospero Burns. Yeah, he's super cool.
Really, that book made you like Thousand Suns?
I was gonna say.
They were like horrifically
you
incompetent
must
in that
have
book.
read it wrong.
So
read up to
we can have a lengthy conversation on this that we won't have now. But, I really like the way they're sort of portrayed as like these guys who are doing their thing, and their
Fallible?
thing is being good at psychic stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
they're very intellectual.
It was a cool book.
You know, going through school, grad school. I like the way that like they all just kind of kick it. They hang out.
Yeah.
They're just
They're very
like,
collegial.
yeah,
Yeah, they are
they're
pretty
all
cool,
hanging out
yeah.
with Magnus, just like chatting, and contrast with most of the other factions where like you can't even look at the Primarch, and you're just
Right.
like everyone's so like, oh, don't talk to him directly, and
It was neat how they used psychic for like everything.
yeah, just
Like
casual.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
didn't even, and they even in combat, like they weren't even able to really use their bolters. Like they
Yeah.
just kind of sucked it. They just used. They were so powerful psychically, they didn't even see a reason not to use it for everything.
yeah.
Right?
They're when the wolves attacked, their defense systems were set up. It was just like
They just had like a giant dome shield of mind energy that fell.
yeah.
Well, yeah. It turns out they brought a bunch of psychic nulls, which is like
Yeah.
it's
This
like a
is
planet
cheating.
of
Kinda
Supermen, and
Yeah.
they send a kryptonite asteroid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta watch that stuff.
Kryptonite asteroid.
They were.
Right? Like it feels like they should have
Yeah.
seen that coming.
Yeah.
They were very fallible in that book, though. They were more relatable than any of the other Space Marines because they just like sucked.
They were super. They
They did everything wrong.
Very arrogant.
They were very emotional. They were not very Space Marine-y.
You know the thing
which
that
is
was
a reason to
frustrating
like
there?
them.
The frustrating thing for me was the Space Wolf characters, especially the Rune Priest, who was simultaneously so wrong about everything, but yet still right. Like, you know, it's like you wanted to hate him because it's like, no, you're wrong. You are a psyker. This is the warp. But at the same time, he actually was proven to just be right, and he's vindicated, and he never gets to be taught he's
Right.
wrong.
Yeah.
And so that
It
was
is
frustrating
frustrating.
for me, actually.
Yeah,
That guy was a
just
jerk.
wrecks him. Okay, so thank you, Omnissiah Sphinx.
Thank you.
Have you played Deathwatch, and how are they on the table? There's some Deathwatch questions.
Was that Deathwatch or DW?
This is Deathwatch spelled out.
Okay.
No, I haven't played the new Deathwatch at all.
You didn't play them? Only I played them?
Yeah, only you.
Yeah.
I had to think about that for a
That's
second.
true.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, when
was.
the supplement first came out, we played them against Necrons.
Yeah.
And did we play them once or a couple times? I think we played them, but we had a limited model range,
We
didn't have any of the new stuff.
We didn't
Yes.
have any of the new interesting stuff really.
So it wasn't the most exciting stuff.
we got to get on that. Yeah.
But I think it's really cool. It's a ruthless mid-board shooting army. And they have tons of tactical flexibility, especially with the ability to deep strike in and just a ton of OBSEC. So it's really a really great army.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you, Rabbit Nugget. With Heavy Intercessors coming out next month, there we go.
Okay.
Are you guys going to start playing Deathwatch with them? Also, hope you guys enjoy Go Blueberries. You know,
Ultras.
Ultramarines.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh, wow. That tells me we're still back in during the game super chats.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
I think we're like Brian said, we're getting to that point.
It's not a hard army to get started with, right?
No.
It's pretty elite.
Yeah, you know.
You know.
It's very feasible.
Yeah, it's because you'd mostly have like what 40 base models plus some characters. You're like at 50 models, right?
No, it's not bad at all, for sure. That's no.
It's very plausible. It's like the kind of army that if you actually put your head down, literally could be painted in 2 weeks, built in like a week. So it's an army that could be done in like under a month.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Theonin Raymond. Bought Morty on Tuesday afternoon.
Nice.
Been painting him every game and Q&A this week. Thanks for being
that's fun.
awesome.
Oh, nice.
What a rad model.
That's really cool.
He's so epic.
So sick.
And now when you put him on the table, he'll actually like feel like an actual god of
so
battle.
fun.
He'll feel like a real Primarch.
Yeah.
He's great.
Thank you, Daminant. Very happy to watch Chaos win. I could watch Magnus stomp on Little Blue Men all day long.
It's great to see, and like I said, it's great to see any Primarch being a Primarch.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah.
Do you guys, here you go, do you guys think you'll do more than 2 to 3 K games in the future? More games?
Every once in a while, kind of like this felt like a good opportunity. Brian wanted to play with toys. We said, why not? But not like super regularly, you know?
Yeah,
We should do one with the actual Onslaught missions, just to give it a go.
we should.
But we should take it 2-3K and talk about the board size and all that stuff. This one was like close enough that it's like you could watch this and still learn things about a 2,000 points game, right?
I will say I don't like the board size they have for 3K points. It's still 44 wide and it's 96 long. So you get like a strip.
Wow.
Your board ends up being like long and not
Probably
wide.
just do the old bat size ones.
Bad call, James.
Yeah.
I like 3K point games. In fact, back when on Thursdays, before we did the show on Thursdays, I used to go to the Narrative Club and play on Thursdays.
Yeah.
And I would play I would take like half the day off work.
Yeah.
Every single
Every week?
Thursday.
Now that
Yeah.
you've left Google, you can say that.
Yeah. No, it was fine. I made the time up another time. But so what I would do is I would go in the afternoon, and every time I would play one 3,000 point game, and then that would end around the time everyone was showing up after work, and then I'd play another 2,000 point game. So I would do that every week. So I'd play like a 3,000 point game weekly, and it was kind of my favorite size because I like collecting, these big epic collections. And we had huge terrain sets, so we could like put boards together and make it work. And we had pretty good rules for balancing those games. Like we were careful to allow armies to hide really well, which is really crucial at that game size in particular.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they're super epic. I really enjoy them.
Small games, 1250?
I hate small games.
750?
I hate
Especially in
small games.
ninth. Small games, they did not put as much thought into smaller point games as we initially thought they did. Like they made a mission pack that has like small game, medium game, big game, but they really just made the medium game, and then they just scaled down the medium game and assumed it would be fine.
Yeah.
But none of the secondaries make any sense. The primary is a joke because it's like one person dominates and the game's over immediately.
Right. The board size
The board's
is wrong.
too small.
The objectives are placed poorly.
The best smaller games for me have been Crusade games.
Right.
Same,
Yeah.
same. That's what we've done.
Because they're designed for that small board size, and there's no secondaries there, but they're the agendas that contribute to the overall
Right.
mission.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So there's always something interesting happening. Every time I play the mission, I'm like surprised and impressed by them.
I agree. And you know what? The thing is about a crusade that's interesting is it's all about having few units that you're really invested in.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas for me, 40K is about this epic army, and I've worked really hard to have these big collections.
Yeah.
And like if I'm coming together with my friends to play a game, I don't want to just use 1,000 points. Like I work so hard on this army, and I'm like leaving so much of it at home, and I want to come and play and show it off. And maybe I won't get to play this army again for like 6 months. Like let me use some of it, Don't make me leave it on the shelf. So for me, I play 40K specifically to have these large armies.
fair.
If I'm going to play a smaller thing, there's more optimized games for it, like Crusade within that.
Exactly.
Thank you, Daminant. He says, ignore the haters. It's a little late, but Ethos Tacos on stream. live your best life.
Live Moss.
As it says, live like the Moss, of course. Our true chaos god.
That's right. I knew it was coming. I could feel it.
You know what somebody told me today, Brian? There's a Taco Bell Cantina, San Jose.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, you
It's
two
like a
don't care, but
wait.
they
You don't know
serve
what a
alcohol.
cantina? Like the Taco
I
Bell
mean,
cantinas?
in the context.
No,
He
the
knows what
Taco Bell
cantina
cantinas. So Taco Bell.
Listen, I watched Star Wars.
Yeah. So Taco Bell has normal
exactly.
restaurants, which with a drive-through or whatever, right? Normal restaurant.
Okay.
There's tables inside, but nobody really like homeless people eat inside Taco Bell.
Okay, you.
But then they have actual storefronts where it's like a sit-in restaurant.
Yeah.
They're called cantinas.
You're saying they try to like class it up?
and there's
It's like
a bar.
a McCafe?
Right. There's a bar. Like you actually sit down at a table, you eat your food.
Okay.
It's a cool spot in San Jose, too.
And I've never gone to a Taco Bell cantina.
So it's a nice place to bring food from a nicer restaurant to sit in?
No, Brian, they'll
The
kick
most
you out.
important is that they serve alcohol.
I see.
So, for example, there's one in Berkeley.
Do they mix it with Baja Blast, though? Can you actually
I'm
get
sure
blasted?
I
you
bet
can
they
ask
do.
them.
Sure you
I
can.
bet there's
sure
something
you
They'll be
can
like,
ask
ah,
them.
yes.
Hold on here. I think we should really get you guys Baja Blasted.
That would be. Oh no. The
we
sugar.
should do like a video, like a trip report video of you guys getting Baja Blasted. Not me. I need to hold the camera.
Yeah.
But
You get Baja Blasted.
you could get Baja Blasted.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you, Arfezi.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Starting Orcs is my third army.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's got so far. Big Boss with Choppa, Weird Boy, Pain Boy, 11 Boys, 5 Knobs,
Nice.
Def Dread, Shock Jump Drag, 2 Mech Guns. What are some good additions other than more boys? Thanks for the great content.
Oh, you got us. Boys.
Burn bombas, right?
No. Because listen, they have to kill that strat.
Yeah.
And if they don't,
I'd be skeptical.
if they
Brian
don't,
hates this plane so
if they
much.
don't kill that strat, then you're morally obligated to never use it again.
But if they do kill the strat, maybe the burn bomber will do something cool, Brian.
but
Yeah,
you're,
maybe,
You're
but
playing
wait.
with fire then.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Literally
exactly.
because it's the burn bomba. There was one other thing they didn't want to hear.
They just didn't want to hear more boys.
no boys.
Okay.
Meganobs.
Meganobs.
Meganobs,
Meganobs
yeah.
are where it's at right now, and they're fun to play. They're cool. They're great model, great kits.
Throw them in a truck. So then get some trucks.
Get trucks. Yep. And
Bone Breakers are fun.
Yeah.
yeah. They're cool.
Good for holding more boys.
I know. I was gonna say, like, in theory, they're good for the Meganobs. They're not bad for the Meganobs, but I've been loving those trucks because
They're
so
great.
cheap, and you can be like, kush, all the
very
corners.
orky.
Yeah, exactly.
Boss on Bike,
Boss
which you
on
can make
bike.
your own.
Yeah.
Way cheaper. The Forge World one is pretty rad though.
He's cool.
He's huge.
Yeah.
He really feels like the biggest boss.
Yeah, totally. But that's a fun, like, orky project, especially, again, if you get a truck or two, you'll have some extra bits.
Lots of bits.
You know? Does your truck really need 6 wheels? Pretty sure you could just 4.
Yeah.
2 of those are for your bike.
I bet
need
you
a
could get creative and make it work on
2.
2.
Me and Brian, same headspace.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I went the other direction where your biker boss is on a unicycle.
Yeah, that works
That'd
too.
be amazing.
Like I told you, we've talked about this before. Make him a gizmo duck. Gotta get that gizmo duck going.
I'm down for it. I like it.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Okay, a couple questions here actually from Megan, who is my wife. One, she says, Zach, it was nice to see you today. I made her promise
This
not
is
to
the
send.
way she prefers to see you. It's through the internet.
And then her other question, she says, if I let you guys borrow a fully painted Battle Masters, this guy is going to know what this is, would
what
you
that
play it on air? Do you know what this is, Adrian?
I do not. What is
I'm
it?
Googling it.
Battle Masters?
So
It's a board game.
So
Yeah, I feel like
when GW
like
had
a
their in the early 90s when they had
yeah, it's a
their
90s board game.
they remember Hero Quest. We all
Yeah,
know
do
Hero
you remember the
Quest.
commercial for this?
Oh my god, this thing!
Wait,
Yeah.
this is like the historic. It's like there's a hex grid.
Yeah.
You have little cardboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like there's a bunch of military ones like this
Yeah, so
where you get a box like this big and there's like 500 little cardboard squares in it.
Yeah.
You get a map
This
that's
isn't
like
quite
10
that
feet
scale.
long.
This isn't
not
that
like
scale.
that.
Yeah, this is
isn't
more
that.
basic.
This is they had this contract where they had to make Hero Quest with
Yeah.
Milton Bradley, I guess at the time.
Hasbro, I think.
Who, right?
Yeah, whatever.
And they also had to make another one, and this is the other one they made. It did way less sales than Hero Quest.
Yeah.
We got it at a Game Castle flea market in the local area here like 5 years ago, and we fully painted it up, airbrushed. I put like serious work into it, and we gave it to her dad,
Yeah.
who knew it. So
These are cool.
This sounds rad.
Calls
It's
orcs.
kinda-
There's like models in it.
Goblins of Light? That's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's like
It's not based on their IP, is it?
I love it.
it is based on their.
So it's the fantasy world?
Señor,
But there's
de
Gazgul
Gallet.
in this fantasy world.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, it's Gazgul's orcs.
yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. It's a little.
I like
it's a
it.
little
There's
sick.
Blackfangs, Felmors, Finmars, Gorbands. There's a lot of stuff in
Are there elves?
Grom. Yeah, they're elves.
Grom. Not Grom. Grom.
I think there are. It's like a good guy and a bad guy side.
That's funny.
That's it. Yeah.
It's neat. We should check it out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's actually
Did you play it?
Yeah, I've played it. We've played it a few times. It's wacky. You're just pulling from a deck of cards. You move. That's
the whole game.
And then you pull from a deck of cards. It's like this unit pulls this many from the deck. This unit pulls this many.
wild.
It's like
Wow.
no dice actually. Kind of weird.
We'd still drop them somehow. We'd be like, here's my card, and be like,
No,
dice.
you know what we do?
Oh.
We draw our card, and then while we're decision making, we put them down, pick dice up, and go like this in front of the mic.
Right into the
No,
mic.
just Adrian would. Just like this in
That's
front
how
of the
I
mic.
think. I literally can't think without that.
Yeah.
If you have me do that, I can't play Warhammer.
Yeah,
I
like if
can't-
you have to ask him a question, you'd be like, "Yo, Adrian, what do you want to have for lunch?" And he's like, "Ugh," and then you give him some dice, and he can go, "I'll have a taco."
He's not wrong.
Thank you, Lorenzo. Do you think Magnus is viable only in demon lists, or can he also be competitive in a pure Thousand Suns one? He feels mandatory there for the reroll aura on ones and psychic tests, but how can you save him?
So competitive is a strong word, but absolutely can be quite strong in that list. The only reason that we're running him in this version is because our Thousand Suns army is not done yet. So we still want to play Magnus. We have a beautiful Magnus, a beautiful Armon, and this is a different way to play them until we get that army built. The Thousand Suns army itself, with them, I think can be quite good. It's not like mega top tier.
I think he
but
levels up a Thousand Suns army
in a big way.
In a big way.
Huge way. You know.
Yeah.
You still get your Scarab Terminators.
Well, and he still does a thing that no one else. Like he's still a thing that could go chop a Strays in half. Like no one else can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So I think it's great.
I think he's a genuinely playable model all the way across.
Yeah, he definitely takes them to the next level.
Thank you, Phosis. Hey guys, Phosis9.
Hey.
Dedicated T-Suns player here since 2004. That's before Bridger was born. What sort of super doctrine do you think T-Suns might receive in their 9th ed book? Thanks for everything.
Ooh, okay.
Zach,
Super doctrines.
Your mic's cutting out. Do you want to like hold it above your head
No.
for the next hour?
Hold it above my head.
Like, you know, like
Don't listen to him.
You actually have to do
I'll do
like
it
a
with you.
rain
I'll do it with
dance
you. We
type
just have to
thing.
do this
Yeah,
for like an hour.
yeah. It's like that boombox scene.
Yeah. What would be a good super doctrine for the Thousand Suns?
Okay. So here's, I'm thinking about things like the Grey Knights have the tides. I
Yeah.
don't know what this motion is, but this is what
That's
we
the
need to
tides.
have.
That's shifting the tides.
The shifting
Tides
the
are coming in, tides coming out.
tide surfing.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah, it's tides.
cowbunging
Yeah.
on them. So like something like that, because I kind of want it to be kind of magical based, right? So, but what the interesting thing that the Grey Knights does is it's magic, but it's not like always about like the spells, right? So one of their, they have the +1 mortal wounds or something. So you could say this is the tide where you get extra range on your spells, or the second part of your spell gets an extended range, or in this one you are -1 to hit. Same kind of idea. And so it would be whatever is like the warp that they're harnessing for that turn. Is
Okay.
What they get.
I have an idea. I think
Okay.
that's cool, but I have an idea. What if they had a psychic ritual that they were advancing? So it's more like a power from pain chart. You had to move through it,
Oh, okay.
but you didn't automatically progress.
Yeah.
You had to one of your psychers would have to do like an action or something to advance it each turn.
Yeah.
And but it was more powerful than power from pain. But you had to give something up to
It's
move.
like blood points for corn in
Sure,
chaos.
you had to move through it,
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
it unlocked. It could do stuff army wide, right? Like
cool.
even
be
like
awesome.
you can represent psychic power in many ways. Like models getting an invuln save the same way power from pain.
Exactly.
That's representing psychic energy. In
Precisely.
you could do all kinds of things like that.
I love
right?
it.
That'd be cool. And
cool
you can
idea.
do it in a way that also isn't punishing, right? Because I think one mistake they've done in the past is like, you can summon as long as you just stand there, which
Yeah, yeah.
beyond just being not useful, also kind of just sucks to just sit there.
Yeah.
And so this could be like, every time you cast a spell, you get a point, and then it unlocks like the next level or whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That could work.
Thank you, Daminant. Bridger's idea of a you can't move rule sounds like that would make confabulators be really good and sounds more in line with their real name.
Yeah.
Yes. Confabulators should take 100% of your movement away.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
It's
And
minus.
that's just if they consider shooting at you. They don't actually have to hit or target you.
That's right.
You just have to, in your shooting phase, be like,
Declare that you're thinking about
I
it.
might shoot at that target. No, I'm going to shoot over here. But sorry, they both can't move next to me.
That's how you confabulate your opponent.
That'd be
for sure.
awesome.
That's right. Yeah. As I was saying, next time we play the Iron Hands, I'll bring all my confabulators.
Yes.
We'll go hard into them.
Thank you, Cultist Chan C. Hi, TTs. Just
Cultist
polishing.
Chan.
Cultist,
No
yeah.
C.
Sorry. Okay.
It's just
Substitute.
It's like
Just
drop the
C.
beat. Like drop
No
the beat from
cultist
Bobson.
Okay.
Bebop's-
Hi, TTs. Just polishing Magnus's horn nips, and wondering
Aren't we all?
how Adrian painted the new armor on his Talos and Incubi. Liked the black style.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I this might be old news to you, Cultist Chan, because it's my normal recipe, but I'll talk about it because I like the simple crisp black, right? So it's I airbrush the whole thing black, could be whatever black, and then I take like a slightly bluish gray, airbrush that, and for the Talos, it's kind of the tops of like the ridges because there's not like a ton of edges. So
Like
you
a
take
kind of
where it
top-down
starts to
highlight
warp.
in a way?
Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
zenithal, but more like stylized. So it's like and
Yeah.
like shoulder pads, boom. And then wash the whole thing also with an airbrush using Drakenhof Nightshade. Kind of brings it all down darker, still a bit of blue. And then the edge highlights, and this is actually where I'll be honest, I'm not completely certain on the color because my Incubi I think it's a little too of a bright gray. You
It's
have to be
more
careful.
gray. Yeah.
It's quite bright, but some gray to edge highlight and do that sharpness there.
With the drukari, I like the edge highlight having more blues in it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was
Blues
like.
or even purples sometimes can be
Yeah, I'm might try something a bit different, but
Yeah.
that's the recipe.
good. Nice.
So thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you, Hazard Brewing. Hey, Titans. About the Tabletop Titan drinking game. Big mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, huge mistake.
Good game, though my Nid Warrior seems to have 9 arms. If there are rules for
He's
that.
just checking in.
Zach's like, if you're drunk enough to see 9 arms, then there's rules for that.
Yeah.
He gets 9 arms.
We told you.
That's amazing.
I told you.
There's an amazing clip of me somewhere playing Beer Hammer and just getting so offended that Hive Guard or something had toughness 4, and I'm just like, we're like halfway through the game, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this destroyer shot. I was like, what's this guy? He's like, that's a Hive Guard. I was like, what's his toughness? And they're like 4. I was like, that's ridiculous. And I get distracted and come back. Okay, right here. What's this guy? That's still a Hive Guard. Toughness 4. And I was like, that's just offensive to me. And,
Did you think he should be like T6?
No, I thought it should be lower for some reason.
No, the Hive Guard?
Hive
They're
Guard?
huge.
Huge backs.
I
They
know.
weigh like 3 pounds
Look,
each.
I'm not saying I was right.
It should
It's
be
just-
T5,
Yeah.
probably.
They
yeah.
That's how I
should
felt
be
at the time.
minimum T5.
They should
Live
be
a side
T5
of
with
a
a 2 up
broadside,
save.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Colt Hune. Glad you like the models. Drukari have me genuinely hyped to see Night Lord rules
Yeah, that's true. That's what we were saying. We
in
agree.
2024.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
seriously.
working on a model for Mel and Bridger too.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. These look really, really
Thank you.
great, and really impressed.
I'm excited. We'll get we'll get these on the table.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
The Inquisitor is super easy. We can just next time I play Imperium, like
And he's very cool.
he's so stylish.
He's really great.
I'll try to like post this somewhere, guys, because so you can see. It's also the Orlok gang
Yeah.
body, right?
I like his ray gun.
Right.
His ray gun's dope.
It's like a ray gun needler kind of like.
Either way, it looks not enjoyable to engage with.
It's enjoyable for me to look
yeah.
at.
Yeah, this is really cool. Carry on.
Thank you, Jordan Heiselman. Love the content, guys. I'm playing my 5th game ever, and apparently I accepted a match with that guy.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
You got a 2K
That guy gets around. You know, he's everywhere.
He's been around.
Yeah.
2K Death Guard INF list that ruins friendships.
Do we have a 2K Death Guard list?
Oh, infantry maybe.
Yeah, infantry probably.
Infantry. Yeah.
That would ruin
We
friendships.
do.
Yeah.
We do have one of those.
So I have a really mean list that would be, yeah.
That's his
Okay,
goal.
what do you got?
So here it is.
Hit us with it.
You can take a Mortarian. Already no friends.
Yeah, you got a Mortarian in there because he's real good.
Yeah, 2 Plagueburst Crawlers.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
You're running Mortarian's Anvil, so you can turn off rerolls, and of course you can put this forwards onto other things.
Yep.
A couple of units of Plague Marines, super nasty,
Yep.
with like all the fixins. You
These are
have-
5 or 10 mans.
I think is 2 10-mans.
2 10-mans and 2 flails each.
Yeah, 2 flails each. Several units of Poxwalkers.
Like 2, 3.
Like 2. I'm trying to remember the list now. 2 like you're running like 30 to 40 Poxbringers, right? 1 to 2 Flamers.
Yeah, this is the Biologist.
No, Foul Blight Spawn.
Foul Blight Spawn, yeah.
And you take Grenade Guy and which
That's
is
the Biologist, Putrefier.
Biologist Putrefier. There's something else.
What are your HQs? You have
Demon Prince
Malignant
on
Playcaster,
foot with sword.
Malignant Playcaster.
Naturally.
And then,
of course.
Did you take a second Malignant Playcaster, or was it a Demon Prince?
It's been a while since I looked at this list.
Yeah, but these
because
are
I haven't
just-
actually brought it because it's so mean.
Yeah.
But,
It's a prince on foot with
It's
sword.
basically that. I guarantee it's not a prince on sword with foots.
Yeah, on sword with foot.
On sword with
But that's the gist of it. It's just super mean, super nasty.
There's nothing really surprising about it. It's just
No.
very efficient.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
really hard to beat. Now, when you're really playing against that guy, it's not that he wins because he has a better list. It's he wins because he browbeats you or cheats or just is really annoying and fights you on everything, and he just wins by sneaking out efficiencies he shouldn't have.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't. You just have to not let that go down.
Right. Oh no, here it is. Really easy. So Demon Prince, the one that not the one Bridger said.
Oh, H.
Plaguecaster. I actually have 3x5 Plague Marines.
Yeah, that sounds right.
2x10 Poxwalkers. Unit of 5 Death Shroud. 2 Plague Wrist Crawlers. Mortarian.
Yeah.
That's 2K. Oh no, this is not 2K. It's down by a few points.
Okay.
Something else on top of that.
Great.
There's something wrong with Battlescribe file. Classic.
Oh well.
Yes,
Okay.
son?
Yeah, no. Next question.
Next question. Let's go.
Thank you, Monditor. Been convincing a bud to get into 40K for months. Took him to the hobby store yesterday and bought him a box of Castellans.
Oh no.
Ooh.
How to further twist the knife.
You are a good friend because
Those
you're
are
gonna have a
expensive.
rough time. Well, that too. So they're
How
playing
to-
Mechanicus then?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Well, there's a new Codex coming out. It's a great time to be getting into it, right?
Yep.
They have that new rules and the new Caradon, which are fun to get excited about. Anything new is always fun.
Totally.
There's going to be a lot of really cool, if they're into the fluff at all, like if you showed them some of the new fluff and they thought it was fun or interesting, that's launched a lot of armies, right? Like a lot of 30K armies have come out of people just reading the book and be like, now I'm ready, I got to get this army, That can be a way for some people. It's a gateway for some people.
There's the Priest of Mars trilogy that's
Yeah.
about an Admech kind of crusade, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, the 30K Admech books are good too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought the Horus Heresy Mechanicum book was real good.
It was
Yeah.
one of the first interesting explorations of why they don't want AI and how
Yeah.
AI gets
Yeah.
corrupted by chaos. I was like, yes, like AI is corruptible because it's like humans.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
and that's why, and it was really, really cool.
One of the things I liked about that book was it answered questions, which those books rarely do.
Yeah.
But then it asked even more questions. So at the
Yeah.
end of the book, you were like, but where
Yeah.
can I keep
That's
reading?
one where they're like, by the way, there's a dragon
That
and you're
powers
like,
all of
"What?"
Mars.
That's
Right.
nuts.
It was
Yeah,
wild.
there's like a Catan dragon thing that the Emperor defeated
But then the cliffhanger is
He-
like,
in
but
like-
is
In
there?
like Iran in like medieval times.
in medieval
So
times.
he,
and then
like,
he
fights
flew
the
it,
actual dragon.
And then he flew
Yeah.
it to Mars. And
Yeah.
trapped it, and there's like this eternal guardian cult that protects it. It's crazy.
It was so
Very cool. Cool book.
And now you can play the Void Dragon.
I know. I'm kind of sad it's not an actual dragon anymore.
It's disappointing that they like got rid of the mystery.
Yes.
Because that whole book was like, is it? Isn't there?
Is it a Catan?
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah.
Does it
Yeah.
even exist? Nobody knows. We have no records.
And then they're like, here's a model.
I know.
they're like, add it here.
It was so unceremonious too.
Yeah, it was.
They said nothing. It's just like, boop,
Yeah.
model.
That's like one of the great 40K mysteries.
The other way, Monitor, to twist the knife is just text him pictures of like the line, the Mechanicum line one by one. What about these
Yeah.
guys? Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Question mark.
What a
Get them,
gorgeous
get
line.
them into some of the like Instagram feeds of really beautiful painters and things like
Ooh,
that
that's
too.
a good idea.
There's
Yeah.
some stunning models out there.
Yeah. That's messed up. I'll get them.
Thank you, Miko.
Hey, Miko.
Thank you for the appreciation of my conversions. Having so much fun. Currently covering my dreads in bits.
Yeah.
Have plans to play Ultramarines.
Yep.
WS,
White Scars?
Light Scars, Salamanders, Iron Hands so far.
That's awesome.
Yeah, try them all.
Just
Why not?
try 'em all.
Got to
That's
catch them all.
That's the fun of it, right?
Yeah, it's the way to go.
Thank you, Jacob. Hi, Titans. I built a 2K Mortals Necron army with 3 Plasma Mancers,
Nice.
Psychomancer, with Mortal's Arcana.
Yep.
Right.
3 Satan Shards, 3 Min Immortals, and Scarabs. Thoughts?
I've never even heard anyone propose this.
I've heard
It's
of
very
it.
cool.
I haven't seen it in action, but it's really cool, actually.
It sounds like just better Grey Knights.
It sounds like you're going Space Marine hunting, and you're going to have a good time.
It sounds pretty crazy cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I'd love to see it. Like, I'd
I'm
watch
into it.
that battle report for
Yeah,
sure.
That's true.
Miko again. Thank you, Miko. Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Space Wolves will be a bit harder since they have special rules, special units. So I might just collect those armies one day and come up with homebrew chapters for them.
Totally agree.
If you're gonna pick one of those, it's got to be Blood Angels. So that's where to start.
By that, he means Dark Angels.
And by that, no,
You know, you got to say it. You got to say it.
Blood Angels.
Yes.
The thing,
Space Wolves.
the one thing I will say,
Remember when you used to love them?
I do love them. The thing I will say though is you could always convert up things that are similar to the special units.
Yeah.
Like you could make your own like Sangard that are like super elite or whatever for your mortifactors, and then you still find a way to use like the Blood Angels rules and call them a Blood Angel Successor.
Yeah.
And these are your special Sangard. Like I'm not using the official Sangard models,
Well,
right?
I think he means like if he converts to Sangard, you can't really use them as something else, right? Whereas a lot of these
You're not
units
being creative enough.
You could Vanguard vets.
Vanguard vets, exactly.
with axes.
Nobody takes axes.
Okay, with swords.
Yeah, they're like lightning
I
swords.
see your swords and I raise you magnets.
Yeah, well, that's the yeah.
And who's to say that his conversion for Sangard has to have swords?
Yeah, yeah.
They could have spears, which could be anything.
Huh? Could even be a boat.
No, that one's fine. It'd be a boat. All right, you're right. I'm on board.
Thank you, Brendan. Hey, Titans. Just starting up Adeptus Sororitas. What do you think of Ethereal Stern and Kaganal and Sisters? I don't seem to see her in many lists, but she seems great on paper.
Man, I really have to look up those rules because I keep getting asked questions about them.
You have very few HQ slots. This is where this comes from.
Yeah,
Like-
that's true.
The issue is that not that these characters are not great, it's that you have like these basic characters that you almost want to have every time.
Yeah.
Then you always run out of HQ slots.
Yeah, the canises are great. We're just trying to put. Don't go to spike.
No, I
units.
pulled it up.
Ah,
It's always the first link.
can't even look.
Here it is.
We
We have a
I
really
will look
blurry
at it.
image.
I will look at it in a second, but you're right. It's because like the canises are amazing. You know, Celestine's amazing. You don't have to run the Triumph, but you know, come on.
It's pretty cool.
It's so cool. So that is the biggest trouble.
This is the blurriest image I've ever seen.
That's like if I had a nickel for every pixel in this, I would have like
At least 3
like
nickels.
10 cents. Unexpected allies, their wanderers. Yep, looks
So they're
cool.
reading some rules. How you doing, Zach?
Divine
Pretty good.
protection.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
How was
I don't know.
producing?
That's as far as it goes. We don't even get the whole
good.
data sheet.
It's good. There's a
that's
lot
really
to
bad.
keep track of, but it's getting used to it.
Yeah, it's a lot of buttons. So, was she good?
It was really hard to tell, but I'll be honest. The reason you don't see me is because of what Brian said, which is they have amazing other HQs to take, and like you're completely jam-packed with slots, and you also want command points, so you don't want to add another detachment. There's plenty of armies that are happy to do that, but Sisters is not really one. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Robert. What
They don't
are
take
you
up a
hoping for from the Iron Hands Codex whenever it comes out? Are you saying they don't take up an
They don't
HQ
take up
slot?
a slot.
My feedback is completely.
So wait, was this a character I thought?
It's a pair of
This
characters,
is the
but they have a
Harlequin
rule.
and the Sister.
They have a rule that says they don't take up a slot.
They take them no HQ slots.
They take up no slots, period. They can be put in any Imperial army, in any detachment, and they don't take up a slot.
Sorry, I thought this was another sister. I didn't know we were
It's
talking about this too in particular.
Ephraim Stern and Kaiganil.
Right. I saw them in 1 or 2 battle reports, and they were just like, every time they were just underwhelming.
Yes.
But I don't know if that really. So you can look that up.
I'm gonna look it up. Sorry,
Well,
let's
sorry,
continue.
Robert was asking, what are you hoping to see from the Iron Hands Codex whenever it comes out?
That's a good question. I think I don't want the Iron Hands to be the best at everything. There was like a weird thing that they did with the Iron Hands where they just somehow were the best, like best fighting strats, best shooting strats, best Overwatch, best durability, best psychic denial, right? Like why? Why are they the best at everything? I think the idea that they're really good with vehicles and that they might even have they might be one of the more durable chapters. Like those two identities on their own is really good. And I like the idea that a chapter has gaps and it has something it's great at, right? And so I really think that they could lean into that. But one thing I think they should also think about is any chapter that's based around the Devastator Doctrine right now is busted. It's not good, right? Because you get your Devastator Doctrine turn 1, no one's incentivized to be shootable turn 1. So it's like the coolest thing your army does, you never, ever get to do ever. Like, what? Why would you want that? That's really not cool. Yeah. So I think they need to rethink Super Doctrine association with, chapter, because the rules were written for a different edition. So those are the two things I'd really want to see change. One, almost lean in more to their vehicle durability-ness and don't make them the best at everything else, and allow their Super Doctrine to make more sense these days.
The way I see Iron Hands, they have, in theory, their fluff is that they have a bunch of strengths, right? They're kind of shooty, they're kind of durable, they're kind of vehicle-y, right?
Yeah.
You should be able to pick one of those as your major strength and the other are minor strengths. And they're not, because that's what they did in 8th, except they were all major strengths. It was we want you to be able to do vehicles, we want you to be durable, we want you to be shooty. You pick, but then you just picked all of them every time, and you were amazing at everything. Yeah. If you had some way of picking a major strength and the others became kind of more background, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So
you look them up?
I looked them up. They don't really do much of anything, to be honest. They can do a little smite on a 5-up. They fight oak, not the best.
They fight worse than the canonesses that you can tool up.
Yeah, so that's, yeah. Just canonesses are better, honestly.
Cool models, though.
Yeah, they're cool.
Thank you, Cobra Commander.
Hey, Cobra. What's up?
Hey,
Hi,
Cobra.
Titans. Thanks for the great games. Terrain question. My buildings are primed Death Guard green, but I'm stuck how to make the buildings look corrupted while remaining manufactured. Any suggestions?
Question. Zach.
Ooh. How would you Death Guard up some buildings?
Well, the GW has this product that I really love called Typhus Corrosion. Aptly named, right? And what's nice about it is you put it all over anything, and it adds texture. So then when you do your dry brush, usually you could do the light, almost the real light green. I forget what it's called, Ogren camo, I think. It'll catch it. That's kind of a cool look. And then I'd probably use a gloss, a high gloss for slime.
Yeah. Slime it up a bit.
A little bit of slime, yeah.
Are you of the camp of buildings having mouths and eyes and stuff?
I've not done that. In general, I don't. It's not just a style that I like.
What about lots of tentacles?
No, I just wouldn't do that. But it can be done well. It's just not something I
Feels like he's not really into Death Guard.
How do you feel about buboes?
Yeah.
In general, I'm not super into the Death Guard.
Do you think buildings should have weeping sores? Should
Googly eyes.
Googly eyes could be interesting.
You can make it work, right?
make it
I think you could actually make it work. Challenge
one,
accepted.
One every now and then.
Yeah.
Right.
People overuse them.
You paint over top of it completely, and it's just like a bubble.
Yeah.
But you scratch off a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But seriously, Cobra Commander, I'd look into Typhus Corrosion.
That's cool.
Good product, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matthew. Second question about the Custodes. What do you think their faction ability will be? Also, Thousand Suns get an escalation chapter tactic with bonus to cast, etc.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
I got this.
All right, what's their chapter tactic? This is their chapter tactic. Today, it's +1 invuln, right?
Well, in the future, it's +1 invuln and permanent transhuman.
Okay, naturally. We already knew that.
And can only be hit on 6s.
But when they're in their blade stance,
Sure.
which you could choose to be in at any time, all the time.
Well, they're just fabulous. It's the gold.
It's your choice. You know what I'm saying?
They actually introduced free actions into 40K, and switching stances is a free action. Custodians
And
are
there's only 2 stances. There's no stance, and the stance where you can be 6s to hit.
That's true.
And it's your choice. You don't always have to be in it.
You use whichever one you feel is more appropriate for that turn.
For the time, yeah. You're playing your friend, first time on the game, maybe you just choose not to use it.
The serious answer is we don't know. Up until now, Custodes, rules-wise, have been kind of bland, if I'm honest, for their chapter tactic. Their thing is just they're good at everything. And GW didn't find a great way to do that in 8th. They just made them BS2, weapon skill 2, have everybody's best guns, best Terminator armor, right? The stats, there were wall stats. Their special rules were Psychic Awakening, they got some very cool strats. Loved that.
Well, they always had great strats. Let's be real.
Yeah.
They were
They
just
always
hard to
had
take
good strats.
advantage of.
They didn't have a CP before.
Yeah, they had no CP.
But like their rules didn't shine on their own. They were just a wall of stats, and I would want to see them take a form beyond that. But who knows? Like, how do you manifest perfection in game rules?
Rerolls. They did that in the past.
I don't think they need more rerolls. They hit on 2s and they wound a lot of things on 2s.
This is a tough one. I think it's a creative challenge
Yeah.
to make elite armies, right?
Yeah.
It's really tricky.
Thank you, Alexander. For T-Suns, add the value on casting dice. Every 30-ish upgrade to the next power from ritual table
Oh, cool, cool.
would be super cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot of accounting, but it's neat.
That's cool.
It's actually a cool idea.
It's more accounting than they ever want to do anymore.
Remember, didn't they, for Nurgle, they made that little wheel dial for Age of
Yeah.
Sigmar? You can move the wheel.
That was cool.
Yeah, print us a little ritual wheel. Or make a special magic 8-ball.
Yeah.
And you could shake it.
Oh, man.
And then you get whatever's on it.
That would be amazing.
It's like a chaos 8-ball, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That's going to happen.
I think it's a neat
sure.
idea.
Just now, somebody at GW saw that and said, how have we not made that?
Gad.
Thank you again, Miko. Brian, you've sold me. Sanguinary Guard with bone wings would look pretty bad ass.
Oh,
Yeah, of course it would.
And very near heretical in traditional Mort style.
Yeah.
But they're not, though. Honest.
Yeah, no heresy to see here.
Chaos here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shut It Buster. Would you guys possibly consider doing a live stream one day where you evaluate submitted lists from viewers or members? Could be fun.
Yeah.
Like go and like make it all about that.
Yeah, like they send a list and we say why it needs more blade guard in it or something.
That's just every answer. Yeah. No, that sounds cool.
Like, I noticed you don't have a chief apothecary here.
You're like, sir, I'm playing orcs. Also, this is a Denny's, by the way.
Thanks again, damn it. Y'all think we'll be getting a Black Templar supplement in 9th? I've always loved their flair and kind of want to have them be my next Space Marine army, but I'm worried they might not get their own book.
Yeah.
They have to, right?
Well, I think.
They're on an index forever.
I'll be honest, I really think they have to also.
Yeah.
I really think they have to because
Yeah.
they took their units out of the Codex, didn't they?
Well, that's what I was going to say. One of two things I think are likely to happen.
Oh, either
Oh,
being
no.
removed from the game.
Oh, no.
I'll tell you why. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I don't think they're being removed from
Yeah.
the game because they're mentioned in the book.
That's
in the
true.
Space
They're
Marine.
mentioned as
So
like
is
a-
Legion of the Damned, Brian.
Okay,
Like,
but hold on. I
Or-
second that
or-
may get a book too.
That could be. Oh my god.
I think when that book
Yeah.
first came out, that's the thing we saw. We saw Legion of the
Yeah.
Damned and them, and we're like, them. I think that means they're both getting
Yeah.
a book, or at least
Right.
like a White Dwarf or something, right? And my instinct is that'll be the case. And come on, Templars have been around forever.
That'd be so sick.
They've been the cover army
mean,
of like 3rd
I don't know
edition
if
or
it's on
something.
screen, but over there.
What is that? 4th,
That's
5th,
the 5th edition.
Yeah, they were the cover army for 5th edition. They're not going to take them out of the game,
No,
right?
yeah.
And the fact that they're not in the book, that really makes me think that they're probably doing something fun with them.
Yeah, I agree.
So I definitely started collecting this army because I, like you, I think the fluff and the personality is really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping they do something great with it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty likely.
Yeah.
That's it, guys.
That was it?
That's all of them.
Oh.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
For sure. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. It's been a lovely episode of The Good Talk.
That's right.
Nice chat, nice questions about a
Yeah,
great
good
game.
time.
Again, just a reminder, we have a video coming out tomorrow, top 10 combinations for Drukari, and we also have an exciting game on Tuesday for our members. This is going to be the debut of the Lambden Lions. Just a reminder, if you guys want to have an impact on that, and you can become a member today.
Who's winning on the vote on that already? Is there any progress on this vote?
And vote on it
This
today.
vote's not up.
Oh, it's not up yet.
Oh,
for some reason, I
Because
thought
we
the
have to
vote,
talk about there's
there's a
the
problem.
options. There's options we could do, but I didn't want to say it out loud.
Okay, so we'll put
live.
the vote up after this.
Sounds good. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, and we'll catch you guys next time on the tabletop.